shatter. Let the bodies hit the floor. Uprising Academy at 95%.
Right now with Hydra building up to this Bear Barrage so quickly.
Oh, and asking.
Double kill in the back with the pulse bomb from the high ground. Aerial assault with that mine.
Impact se escucha de baja gritar campeón a Sky Foxes.
Holy cow.
And after 42 consecutive losses, the Shanghai Dragons get their first win.
8 teams enter this weekend.
Oh no, Reinhardt, what are you doing?
We've got a clip with minimal information. It's time to break it down. Speed, 25%. Go, figure out what this man's SR is.
Keep fighting till it's for sure lost. Winnable!
How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited for day 2 of Contenders Trials. This is our last Contenders Trials of the year, of course, for our last Contenders November tournament. All of these teams, they want to qualify, and I'm super excited to see who does.
It's their last chance, but we're going to take a quick look right now at what we've got for you today. We've got a couple of matchups, including the Uprising Academy facing off versus Square One, followed up by Anteiku versus No Evil. And Uprising Academy able to have a pretty good showing yesterday.
Yeah, of course, Uprising Academy, they won 3-0 against Last Hope, so good victory for them. But Square One, they also got a good result yesterday. They won 3-2 against 200 MS. Of course, 200 MS were just in Contenders October, so getting a good win was right off the bat for them.
Definitely. And we're going to take a quick look at these two rosters because that's where our hot take of the night is going to be. Ocean, we got to talk a little bit about some big impacts coming into this Contenders Trials matchup for both of these teams.
Yeah, let's start with Uprising Academy. Jaekaru, the new main tank. Now, Uprising Academy, they've kind of been like third or fourth every single Contenders Trials this year. Realistically, the main tank has not been their strongest role. You've seen around, they've been keeping a consistent roster. I've never found a consistent main tank for this team. Jaekaru looked awesome yesterday, so I think that's a good pickup for them. And Square One, they announced that they picked up Aspen. I think Aspen's a great pickup for this team, especially in the current meta. She's quite a flexible main support player. She can play all of the main supports to a pretty strong level in Tier 2/Tier 3. Can play the Pizza, Mercy, and Lucio to a pretty good level. And in a more flexible main support meta, where we've got the Sombra Tracer / Sombra Reaper Brawl compositions, we've got the Briggs and Dive compositions, I feel like Aspen's a great pickup, and Square One definitely need to utilize it.
Well, we're going to be able to see whether or not these new pickups are going to have the impact that you're predicting. Jaekaru definitely having an impact in last night's games, but they're not going to be able to be playing on the same maps that they played on yesterday. They're going to have to be tackling a whole different map pool tonight, starting off with Lijiang Tower. Much different than Ilios, and that's what Uprising was able to play against Last Hope last night.
Yeah, but on Lijiang, we were seeing a lot of the Brigitte Zen composition. It kind of does favor all of those dive heroes and dive maps, whereas Lijiang, we got a little bit of a hybrid. We have seen a little bit of the Wrecking Ball Brig composition on Lijiang Tower Control Center, which is usually a brawl map. However, we've seen a weird hybrid of things on that map. So I feel like Lijiang Tower, in particular, Control Center, could be a lot different to what we saw yesterday, because that was a lot of Brigitte Zen, and we have been seeing a mix of compositions throughout the rest of Contenders Trials.
You know, as much as, and I know this is on record somewhere, as much as I liked to harp on Brig during the GOATS meta, it's been a rough road for her since then, and I'm very happy to see her break into some compositions, but not as happy as I am to see Hammond finally getting the front stage spotlight that he deserves.
Yeah, Wrecking Ball, of course, getting a little bit of a feel in these new dive-based competitions. Of course, these competitions are kind of similar to what we had previously when we had Echo just released and we were running the Echo Somber Brigitte Zen competitions. I don't know if you remember those, when Brigitte could armor pack her DPS and you could have a 250 HP Tracer running at you.
I remember.
Yeah, so basically, I feel like this Wrecking Ball is definitely a good pick in that sort of same type of diving competition that we were seeing before. But it is important to note that Brigitte doesn't have the extra health patch, as we are now on patch 1.53 or the Halloween patch.
Yes, so we won't be having those extra HP McCrees in the battlefield just yet. So don't be expecting too much McCree. He's definitely going to show his face here and there, but it's not going to be as prominent as you might be seeing in your latter games at the moment.
Yeah, that also means there's no Baptiste buffs available, no Widow health nerfs as well. So a lot of heroes who just got a little bit of a switch around. We're going back to the previous patch, so that's super exciting.
Definitely exciting, but not as exciting as the game we've got going on here on Lijiang Tower. You can see it now, square one in the green. Uprising Academy going to be taking in on the white. And sadly, at control points, we can't really start discussing the compositions for the next about 15, 30 seconds. But Dream World, Ocean, what do you take to the battlefield?
I mean, it's going to be interesting. Uprising Academy, they favor a lot of the Soldier 76 Tracer composition with the Brigitte Zen, so I'm expecting that, but it looks like already we're seeing a change way fast looking at the Echo.
Yep, way fast going to the Echo, and Tap, who was an absolute terror on the Tracer last night. We're going to be going there. You see Square One utilizing the Symmetra technique to get to point first and set up their trench. Over on the right side, the Hammond, both Jakaru and Tap waiting patiently, no doubt, to execute their ground and pound Tracer taking the town method here. They are going to get caught out, however, from Spee on the Mei as they see that backwards attack. Jakaru getting mighty aggressive into the front, going to hit the ground and pound, and they're going to take a couple out of the fight very early on. Uprising Academy showing why they're a contender to get into Contenders.
Yeah, and Square One, they actually look really good in this opening fight. It's easier to defend an objective and control space than take it, and they get onto the point pretty swimmingly. No problems getting onto the point. But realistically, as soon as that fight opened up, Jakaru, that massive pile driver, and Tap just able to get in and get that damage done, get a couple pickoffs, and that fight was over from there. So Square One, they're going to adapt to go to a little bit of a more of a mirror competition.
Glitches are needed, but that is going to reset their ult economy in a lot of ways. So Uprising Academy going to have the upper hand in this fight and possibly the next, depending on how things are controlled. Bit of a hamster battle at the back of the point is Milky Man going to have to retreat and go back to the rest of the team. King now on the Echo, trying to find themselves a bit of a foothold. Getting brought down mighty low and having to retreat into these corridors. Way Fast is going to open things up with an early kill. False and Jakaru evening things out as Uprising Academy continues to control the narrative.
Yeah, and they didn't even need to use any ultimates, which is critical because Square One just reset their ultimate economy, and that means into this next fight, they can continue with their positional advantage and their ultimate economy advantage, and I'm not sure Square One can get back into this map. I think Night Market may be over.
You know, so many times you debate, do I need to switch my hero, save my ult charge, or just go back to help the team? You see Square One make that collective decision. Let's just go ahead and switch now and see how it goes. Can we get the upper hand in the long run? And King's gonna start the battle off in a big way, and there goes another. Looks like Square One has the upper hand. There are ultimates still to deal with on the side of Uprising Academy. You will see the self-destruct go out and land, but False not going to find much. Speed with a big kill onto Dridro, and a big follow-up from Brute to take Pizza Demon out of the fight. That's going to make Square One have the upper hand in the battle as Speed continues to have to deal with this minefield on point, which is delaying Square One from really making a present. But Uprising Academy fighting back may have to give some ground.
Yeah, they already got rid of Milky Man, so the engagement tools on the side of Square One are pretty limited right now.
Oh, but a Diva Bomb coming in from Brute through the window is going to find Way Fast, and that's going to allow for Aspen to get a little bit aggressive on the break and go after the Tracer. Brute eating the Pulse Bomb from Tap and completely capping that Tracer's ability to have an impact.
That's 2 times in that fight where Wayfast got picked off by an unexpected ability. At the start of the fight, it was the sticky bombs coming out from the opposing Echo and King. Then it was the self-destruct coming out from Brute. So Wayfast going down twice unexpectedly made, Uprising Academy, they lost the momentum twice in that fight. And to be fair to Square One, they take advantage. There was a moment where they lost momentum, but they stuck in the fight and they won it nicely.
Not to mention that they have an amazing ult bank in their pocket right now with 4 ultimates coming online. Unless Tap is able to take Speed out of the fight, but it looks like Speed's going to use that speed to get out of that engagement, notify his team there's a Tracer on the bridge, or over there on the side, I'm sorry, way fast. Meanwhile, in an engagement, we'll be able to get the best of King out on the edge in Uprising Academy with a comfortable 5v6 as they come on in. Square One's going to be prepared with a minefield, a pulse bomb, and a transcendence. No more ultimates except for King's Echo as he comes back from spawn. Uprising Academy still battling and going for the boop. He's going to be able to find that baby Diva as Tap finds Exarath in the backline. 12 health, not going to be able to survive. Is going to have to trade out, but taking out that support so important and allows Wayfest to come back in with a big kill on the Speed. Uprising Academy still trying for the point. Square One at 89%, able to keep things alive.
Yeah, the flip comes through now, and it's going to be on King's ultimate on the Echo, that duplicate. Actually, they just went out of that, so not sure what happened there.
Looks like a lot of damage came in on King. Wasn't able to sustain that duplicated form. Had to give up the point. And at 99%, overtime has been enacted. There's no time for posturing or planning. You've got to get in on the point and make your point. But a Transcendence coming out from Pizza Dima is going to keep things alive. They've got support ultimates to boot. Aspen getting taken out of the fight as that rally came online. Oh, and Milky Man getting pushed out of the fight just enough. Can't get back for that contest.
I'm not really sure it really would have mattered if Milky Man got back on the point. But yeah, good point, you know. Aspen building up to that rally. That could have swayed the fight towards Square One, but they're unable to use that rally effectively in that last fight. But to be fair to Square One, started off on the composition where they want to control the space. They lost that first fight. They had to adapt and play to the mirror matchup. They had a really difficult fight, but they managed to get back onto the point and get back into the round. So that's definitely impressive. It'll be interesting to see in a round where both teams are running similar compositions from the start. Will that affect them?
I feel like Uprising Academy just being a specialist in this guerrilla warfare style of play where they don't necessarily engage right away. They set up Jakaru, they set up Tap and Wayfast to execute a single enemy. As they come into this initial engagement, you see a bit of posturing, and False going far to the left side to make sure that they can get into the backline and cause a little bit of disruption. Milky Man now on point, and this is a point where spin to win is big, but if you're off in the pond, Jakaru able to find 2 with that, with a little bit of a bump onto Milky Man, and Uprising Academy will not only take the first point, but Jakaru at 84%.
Wow. Now that's 2 fights in a row in Control, which in my opinion, Control, the first fight is so important to try and defend that objective. As I said, it's easier to defend in Overwatch than attack and take space. But Jakaru, 2 first fights in a row is the one taking the advantage and giving Uprising Academy these advantages, and that could be crucial later on.
We talked a lot about the new pickup for Uprising Academy and Jakaru, and it's proving here and now to be quite the impactful one. Wayfast grabbing a couple of picks off of the end, being the assassin from the air that Echo is meant to be. His Tap just kind of farms this pulse bomb off of Milky Man. I think Brute gonna take a easy way out and go back to spawn to remech, but with 35% ults in their pocket, this is looking a lot like map 1.
Yeah, I think Square One, it's safe to say that they're just not as strong as Uprising Academy at Control in this composition. Uprising Academy looks so comfortable on this more dive-based composition with the Wrecking Ball yesterday, so it's fair to say that Square One, they're probably going to be more flexible later on in the series, but right now they're definitely struggling.
Tap now hiding in the back line, looking for a support for the target of the pulse bomb. Gets it! Tap with a twofer! They're going to go ahead and blink around because they're not done just yet. Going to be able to dish out so much damage. You see Square One finding a couple of kills here and there, but Uprising Academy dismantling so much of their composition that there really isn't much that the team itself is going to be able to accomplish.
Yeah, King's got to get out now. It won't be able to, however, gets the D-Mech on the full, so they're going to have to reset, get back into their mech. They jumped off the map to do that, and now they get this thing. Oh yeah, there's Wayfast! Wayfast! No, wait, what? What?
Wayfast has gone away fast right there by taking him out. Coming in now, Wayfast still has that echo, so if they can get back to the point, they can still be impactful, and that sound barrier from Pizza Demon coupled on top of the Valkyrie will allow for Uprising Academy to keep themselves healthy in this fight. Self-destruct from Brute, not going to find any kills as Wayfast makes it back and decides to copy the Brig. Need to get another support online, but a King's Pulse Bomb is going to negate that completely. Now Speed with Attack Visor looking to find the kills needed for Square One to find some sort of purchase here on the point. And at 99%, Uprising Academy, you're not too worried about losing it.
You have to feel that Wayfast going off the map actually did lose in that fight, because they had the duplicate online, and that means they couldn't be proactive with their ultimate. Every single broadcast that I talk about the impact of being proactive instead of reactive. You can't be proactive with that ultimate if you're not there at the start of the fight to use it, which means Square One, they're able to get the initiative in the next fight with the tactical visor, and they're able to win it pretty cleanly. The problem is, they have no ultimates online for the next fight, and Uprising Academy have a minefield and a pulse bomb.
Ooh, and a minefield's out now. Let's see if Square One's going to be able to play a game of Minesweeper. Those Helix Rockets, however, going to even up the scales for Square One and make them much more confident in holding things out as Tap. And that Pulse Bomb are going to have to go back to spawn for a short period of time. False and Jakar getting mighty low. Speed able to take Wayfast out of the fight. And in overtime with Min up, it's up to Tap and this Pulse Bomb to make an impact as Speed and Exarath both find themselves a couple of dents into the Uprising Academy sustain here. Tap once again goes down, but the Pulse Bomb, it got caught in the animation, it never went out.
Yeah, and that's critical for Square One, because Uprising Academy, they had the ultimate advantages. That fight, Square One had nothing. Now, look at Square One. They've got 3 ultimates online already, and they're gonna have the rally, they're gonna have the tactical fights, they're gonna have everything, realistically, for these next 2 fights. And with how long it takes you to set up a fight on Lijiang Garden, I think they're in a really good position now. I think Uprising Academy might have thrown this away.
Square One with hope on the horizon. Need to be careful, there's a Hammond and a Tracer that are far in their back line. You see Dridrio there on the Mercy, gonna activate that Valkyrie to keep everybody alive for a short period of time, just until Pizza Demon can get that sound barrier online, but they need to be careful because Speed's Tac Visor is ready and waiting. Self-destruct coming out from False is gonna help out a little bit with the kill onto Speed. Gonna take the Tac Visor offline for Square One as they continue to battle and push for this point. King getting mighty low, having to recall, has no blinks left, running away from Tap here, has the Pulse Bomb online. And Square One trying to get as much done without using ultimates. The Pulse Bomb not going to find any victims. Speed now coming back to the point. Going to activate that Tac Visor. Trying to deal with the pesky Hammond, is able to find one. Pizza Demon able to find an answer though, so it's still going to be even on point. Uprising Academy, however, do not have control, and they're losing members. A sound barrier from Pizza Demon is going to keep things alive for a little bit longer, but it looks like Square One has control and domination on this point.
Yeah, King gets that final kill into False, but Milky Man and Tap are still alive on the point, and Square One are actually backing off here because Exarath is just falling off the map.
Oh man! But it looks like they are going to send Milky Man back in to keep things alive for a little bit longer for the respawns. He's able to spin to win for a little bit of a minefield coming out from Jakaru is going to make things quite difficult, and the point will switch over to Uprising Academy as we continue in this pestilent overtime. Speed trying to get that ultimate up online as quickly as possible. Keep an eye on Milky Man's minefield. It's going to pop out, but as Jakaru finds 2 and Wayfast finds 1 of his own. And that's going to open the door for Uprising Academy to take Lijiang Tower. They just have to stabilize and deal with the rest of the spawns.
They've done it! They will take Lijiang Tower after winning on Garden. What an unusual map of control for Contenders Trials. So many individual mistakes. However, both of these teams are showing a nice level of coordination on this type of composition. Yes, these individual mistakes, yeah, they might make a difference for a fight. We saw Wayfast make a couple of them. We saw Exarath make one at the end. However, realistically, both these teams showing a pretty high level of play. They're able to take advantage of their opponent's mistakes when their opponent is making those mistakes. They are going in, they're making sure that they take the proactive side, they take the advantage that they have, and they're using it to the best of their ability.
And patience just seems to be the name of the game right now. A lot of the times when we see these teams match up, it's aggression, aggression, aggression. Who can keep who at the spawn door for the most? But you see a lot of these interactions with the Hammonds, with the Tracers, of where they're waiting around the corner, making sure that they're engaging at just the right moment to catch the opposing team off guard or catch them in those mistakes.
Yeah, and usually these 2 teams, I think, are very, very strong. I don't really see these members really making a lot of mistakes. Uprising Academy, a lot of consistent players. Square One being in Contenders for a while now, back down in Trials, and they just made a nice main sport edition who is pretty strong at all of the heroes that they can play. So, you know, bit surprising to see this is a game of mistakes, but both teams, they're identifying when the mistakes are made. They're making sure that they capitalize, and that's super important. It makes up for a super interesting game of Overwatch.
Well, we're going to be going to Rialto for our next map. So, of course, we are going to be seeing that continuing topic of capitalizing on those mistakes, but we haven't gotten to see any real long-range hit scan. And Rialto, notorious on that first map for implementing an Ashe, a Widowmaker, somebody who can kind of just dish out damage at that long range in the courtyard.
Yeah, and we also, this is one of these maps where I'm kind of considering things where we're in a little bit of a transition in the meta right now. You've got the Zen compositions. In my opinion, I still think the Sombra Reaper / Sombra Tracer Brawl Dive Hyper composition is still the best composition. And then you've got these Sigma Wrecking Ball compositions as well that can kind of come on to play on these more escort maps where you're going down to ping pong a lot. You're going to use a lot of defensive resources and lots of defensive utility. And what I mean by defensive utility is abilities like Defense Matrix, where you can block a lot of damage, not including beams, of course, but you've got shields as well. So I kind of like the decision to run the Wrecking Ball Sigma on this map, where you're going to need to deal with lots of damage from a distance.
Now, I definitely want to get into this when we have a little bit more time, but the Sigma Wrecking Ball composition, what are the upsides to it?
I mean, realistically, you have a bit of a more fluent attack line. You've got the fluent back line, where you've got Brute kind of sitting at the back with the back line, making sure that you use their defensive utility to keep that immobile, Briggs then composition moving, and you've got Milky Man setting up plays for Spee and King.
Bit of a two-pronged attack with the Sigma Hammond composition. You see in the back line, Milky Man alone in his engagement with Uprising Academy, not going to have the support needed to survive there. So Uprising Academy taking an early member out of the field will allow them to put a little bit more pressure into this high ground, maybe even stop that payload from moving for a little bit longer. Jakaru now with a bit of a wayward grapple isn't going to be able to escape that engagement, and now with an evening out, we're going to have Milky Man back in the fight, but there's going to be no Jakaru. That's going to make Uprising Academy be a little bit more cautious in their engagement. That is at least until Tap can even things out. King on the high ground with 82% to that pulse bomb, looking to try and poke and prod, get that ultimate online, and be a big impact in the next engagement.
I think a lot of this is going to be who builds their support ultimates first, in particular that rally. It allows you to go a lot more aggressive.
Oh, and Jojo is able to find that opening kill, and Aspen falls, so Rally not going to be built up or transcendent as Exaroth falls. Uprising Academy able to take a small lead in the support race.
I feel like one of the shortcomings of this composition, although is there a lot of benefits, yes, you have defensive utility for your backline, however, one of your tanks is sort of designated to escorting players around the map and making sure the immobile supports can get around the map and path themselves neatly. However, the problem is that means only one tank realistically is creating space. And that means DPS have to do a lot to create space, and it's really hard to find picks to create space all at the same time.
Hey man, getting scared, not scared out, but pressured out of his position there early on, and Fall's going to take the opening kill, but Brute going to equalize quite quickly, and it's just a back and forth right now between the two teams as the minefield goes out onto the payload to stop its progression, stop its contest. Up onto the high ground goes Milky Man, trying to deal with the Sigma on high, but not able to do much, getting chased out and chased down by Tap. Brute able to get a stick right there at the very end, not able to do much with it, however. Still has that Gravitic Flux online, but way fast on this Echoed Sigma, already causing an issue. Getting the Gravitic Flux online doesn't find many people, but he is still going to cause many seconds off of the clock there at the very end, and a big Gravitic Flux comes in at the very beginning of the next fight, coming in from Brute. He is able to take Jakaru out. Tap now stepping in, needs to build up that pulse bomb as quickly as possible, but Square One comfortably moving the payload.
Yeah, I wonder if Uprising Academy are going to be able to get a touch. They want to come in with the Wrecking Ball as Jakaru comes off its spawn.
But Spee's there with Attack Visor in the back line just to make sure that everybody is in his sight line. Only able really to deal with Jakaru, but it's going to be enough to move the wheel in their favor. Tap into the back line, looking to put Uprising Academy into a better position as the rest of their members fall low on health. Still dancing around, King has the pulse bomb, looking for the big target, puts it into the back, but not able to find a kill. The damage is there, however, so way fast gonna step in and turn things the other way. Brute falling as Square One loses their main tank, will have to back out of the engagement.
How many times has Milky Man died this run? I talked about Milky Man being a really esteemed main tank, of course, formerly of Gigante and EU Powerhouse. However, it's just not working out. They've died probably 5 times this run. It just hasn't worked out. They haven't been able to get these engagements, and that's the disadvantage of this Wrecking Ball Sigma competition. Can they even touch none?
Oh, last seconds come in. You see Milky Man swing by on the Wrecking Ball to prove a little bit of a discomfort if possible, but False's Gravitic Flux is going to take Extra Wrath out of the fight at 92% to the Transcendence. Aspen now the only support in the lineup, building up to that rally, using it immediately. Pizza Demon's Transcendence will end as Tap finds 2 with another big pulse bomb into the back line. Nobody can stop him. Tap is going crazy.
Yeah, Tap popping off. There is one last straggler on the point, and King goes down. And Uprising Academy full hold on Rialto.
Oh man, and Tap in that back line has just been a nuisance all game. We saw it last night, his technique of whittling down one DPS, sticking the other with the pulse bomb, and getting the 2 of them in the process.
Yeah, one positive for Square One is this is one of the easier maps to full hold in the game. As soon as you get around that first corner, that courtyard is so oppressive and so difficult to get around because the defense is going to have automatic control of so many different angles on the high ground. So Square One, they're not going to have that advantage over to them. The problem is mentally, how is this going to affect you? You just lost map 1 and a bit of a nail biter where both teams are making mistakes. Both teams are playing well and capitalizing on mistakes, but those mistakes were still made, and now you've just been full hold in Rialto. How do you deal with that? How do you approach this next round? It's going to be critical to see what Square One's mindset is at, and that will be critical not only for this map, but for the rest of the series.
It looks like Milky Man's kind of come to terms with the fact that his Hammond just not up to par right now with what Uprising Academy is bringing to the table. So he's going to put a little bit of a different kind of crowd control into the mix, and he's coming out on the Roadhog.
Yeah, and I want to slow this down and talk about this, because I think this is good, because Milky Man's identified it's not working out, let's make a change. And they're going back to this competition we just saw, this run in Overwatch League. We saw this a little bit in Trial of Champions. This is what we call the Pigs League competition, where you run the Sigma Hog, and this competition kind of prides itself on chaos, and that can maybe allow, Milky Man, they're not having a good deadly offense, but it could allow Sphere King, a hero like Soldier 76 and Grace, who pride themselves on picks, and with chaos comes picks, and that could definitely help them come into the show here.
Now, Tap and Jakaru, you often find these two matched up together at the beginning of maps, trying to find themselves a quick pick, and patience, like we said, been the name of the game. UA able to push themselves closely and slowly to this corner as Square One holds the high ground. Jakaru getting separated in the back, not able to support Tap right now. So Square One doing a good job of scouting out that technique and making sure that they can't use it.
Great job done already.
Yeah, that's a big pick. Lose your support at the beginning of the fight, you gotta fight back big, and Pizza Demon gonna try and avenge his own support line. Not able to do so too well as he gets taken out by King in the process, and Square One, they've got the fight. The question is, are they gonna be able to keep the payload where it lies? Milky Man doing a good job of not only sustaining, but shield breaking and decimating Uprising Academy.
One thing is so important, even if when you get the early support kill, not only does it give you advantage in the fight, but it gives you an advantage in the ultimate economy, because once that support ultimate is taking a little bit longer to build up, then you're in a little bit of trouble, because those support ultimates can turn the fight on their own.
Oh, everybody caught up here in this hallway. King goes down, throws the pulse bomb out, and it is going to get eaten up by False. Not often that you see the Sigma eat the pulse bomb, but it's going to happen here and there. The question is, will it matter? Milky Man and Speed both finding kills ample enough to push Square One over the edge. That's going to make it quite a different conversation. You got to eat the pulse bomb, but there was a lot more damage coming your way.
Yeah, not only did it push Uprising Academy over the edge in that fight, but also pushed JoJo off the edge. I'm not exactly sure where that Brigida went off the map, but I would like to see a replay on that if we ever have that. But now, next fight, ultimates are key, and Uprising Academy, they haven't built up their support ultimates yet, so that means Square One, they have the initiative in this next fight. They can go proactive and use that Transcendence to get a little bit more aggressive, build up that Tactifizer and Gravitic Flux, and maybe that can win them the fight.
Off into the back line go Jakaru and Tap. They have the pulse bomb, they have the mines, they have the play together, and a switch way fast. Did switch onto the Widowmaker during that last fight. There go the mines, there goes the pulse bomb. Aspen out of the fight. The Transcendence not able to keep them alive. Way fast will find a headshot to Milky Man as well. Transcendence, of course, as we know, doesn't help with burst damage.
Yeah, really nice post from top, stopping that Brigitte from getting any involvement in the fight. Of course, they had the Transcendence around them, so they've just kind of lost that Spore ultimate. But in this next fight, they're still going to have the rally and the tactical visor to come out at the end of point A Rialto, and if they can win this fight, they still have a strong chance of holding.
Attack visor, rally online for square one, but rally's going to go out early. Speed still waiting to pop that attack visor at the most opportune moment. No ultimates currently online for Uprising Academy except for the rally currently in use. They'll have sights soon, but if False is able to stay alive, they'll be able to put a Gravitic Flux into the mix, and at 47 seconds left. This is not their last fight, but it's their last chance to draw ultimates out of square one.
I think False was a little bit out of position there. You're usually using that defense. Okay, I see Alex Rocket. But you're usually using that defensive utility to help your supports and the rest of your more immobile players around the map and use that defensive utility to their advantage. You're not making space on the Sigma. Yes, that's your tank's usual job, but not in this composition. And False gets caught in the old tank mindset for this composition and then gets caught out. And that means the rest of their team can't get to the point and get destroyed by that tactical visor.
Now, no support ultimates online for square one, so the Gravitic Flux from False going to have a big impact on the next engagement. You see him already casting it out onto the point. Isn't able to find the kill, but Aspen has been the target of these pulse bombs all day long, and Tap is not about to let go just yet. Pizza Demon with another 2 kills. The Zenyatta coming out with a lot of DPS as Wade Fast helps clean things up. Uprising Academy shouldn't have any difficulty taking the point.
Wow, okay, so that's 2 maps in a row where we've seen a little bit of scrappy play, right? But Uprising Academy, they're the victor on both occasions. They won Lijiang Garden right at the end because of a scrappy last fight. They do the same on Rialto, and they make advantage of the ultimate economy that they have going into the next fight because they're the only teams who have an ultimate. That's the Gravitic Flux, and they use that beautifully. They also have the Pulse Bomb, and I have to mention, Tap has been doing a terrific job of targeting Aspen. Aspen, new signing for square one. There could be a couple weaknesses, bringing her into the lineup. As much as we complimented her as a great player and a good flexible player, the problem is, they're new to this team, and they've been finding them out of position a lot of times, getting the Pulse Bomb sticks, and I think that's really, really strong play from Tap. We'll see if it keeps up in the rest of this series. I think we're going to go to a quick break.
We are. It's very difficult for Aspen to play the game. She's consistently getting pulse bombed like that. But we'll see what square one is going to be bringing to the table for the after halftime matches in just a moment as we go to a short break. So stay where you are, grab yourself a new drink, and we'll be right back.
So you queue up for Overwatch Ranked, only to be greeted by this, which then leads to this, and oh no, Reinhardt, what are you doing? The solution? Elo Hell pickup games.
Hey, you know what? Just
Oh my god, it's huge! Oh! Kill! Let's go!
Open to players of all ranks and most platforms, Pugs give you the chance to experience competitive Overwatch as it was meant to be played. Competitively.
I need help.
I'm with you.
Shoot.
No way, dude.
Go. Let's go. Nice. Good call.
Players set their icons to indicate the role they want to play, then 2 captains pick their teammates and draft the most competitive teams they can. You can also take part in our pioneering learning event, Coached Pugs. To take part, join the Elo Hell Pickup Games Discord, and be sure to read the Pug Guide and FAQ. Good luck, have fun, and we'll see you in-game.
Academy, they lay down the shatter, let the bodies hit the floor. Uprising Academy at 95%. Right now with Hydra building up to this Bear Barrage so quickly. Oh, and asking.
Double kill in the back with the pulse bomb from the high ground. Aerial assault with that mine.
Impact, se escucha de baja gritar campeón a Sky Foxes.
Holy cow.
And after 42 consecutive losses, the Shanghai Dragons get their first win.
8 teams enter this weekend.
Oh no, Reinhardt, what are you doing?
We got a clip with minimal information. It's time to break it down. Speed, 25%. Go. Figure out what this man's SR is.
Keep fighting till it's for sure lost. Winnable!
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Square One versus Uprising Academy as we get ready to head into our third map. We just want to highlight something. That last score point of 0-1 on Rialto, you see those score points and you're like, oh, wow, they got swept. That's not the case here. That was a tight fight, Ocean.
Yeah, it was. And, you know, what's important for Uprising Academy is they're winning these type battles. Every single time it comes to that last fight, they're the ones clutching up, and that's important to them. It's going to be interesting to see if Square One being able to reset themselves in the break and come into Hanamura a little bit more reassured, because this team, they're pretty good at coming back from behind. You know, they won 3-2 yesterday against 200 MS, and that definitely took a lot of fight. So we'll see if they've still got that fight in them.
Definitely a lot of Overwatch still to be played, and Hanamura is a map that it's not abnormal to see the upset start here. When it comes down to the 2CP, I feel like you have to step into a different mindset than you do on many of the other maps in Overwatch.
Yeah, 100% agree. And also, Assault being the third map in the series, I always like, because it's definitely the most different Overwatch map apart from Control. But it could also be a huge momentum breaker in that sort of sense. You could break someone's momentum completely and swift the tide of the series a lot easier on Assault than any other map.
Well, Uprising Academy on attack here at the beginning are going to be setting the pace. You see them going to the high ground. Looks like they'll keep this Symmetra with Wayfast. No doubt going for a bit of a tricky entrance here. Nope, Wayfast will be going back to the spawn. Switching over to the legs. They got their scouting down. They see Square One's running with the same kind of Roadhog composition that they saw there on Blizzard World. So it's just a matter of dismantling it in the same way, if possible.
Yeah, and I like this change. Milky Man sticking on the Roadhog. It definitely worked a lot better for them, and I think they should probably stick to an identity that suits them at this current moment.
Bit of an erratic showing from King there, making sure they can keep track of the dynamic duo of Jakaru and Tap on this Hammond Tracer death threat, if you will. Speed now rotating out of position there just a little bit as King takes Tap out of the fight, and now the 1-2 punch for Uprising Academy taken off the board. And Jakaru having to chase back, or run back, I should say, to his team in order to get healing and stay safe. They're going to wait for Tap for just a second, but as a Tracer, shouldn't be too long till they're back in the fight. And what a hook! Oh, not able to finish things off, but Speed's able to bait Jakaru out in the engagement. King now into the backline, pulse bombs out, but it's not going to be able to take any victims this time around. But Uprising Academy not able to get their full team on the point with ease.
Yeah, no, now we're going to kind of break in the fight here. So here we're just going to see Uprising Academy set up again, but you can't set up again. Your squad's starting once more. Tracer going down.
What a big pick, taking out the supports and the star DPS player as the first 3 picks. Square One right now seem to have looked into the yellow books and found Uprising Academy's number. The question is, can Uprising Academy adapt and overcome this defense from Square One?
So I don't think I'm old enough to know what a yellow book is and how you find people's numbers in them. But looking into this next side, both teams are probably going to have... It's a phone book. Okay, that's interesting. Both these teams are going to have both of their support ultimates mid to late fights. So how they're going to use them is definitely super important. This is going to be a big ultimate bonanza, and it's going to be interesting to see which team comes out on top, because Uprising Academy have been edging these more scrappy fights.
And you can see Jakaru already making their way off to the right-hand side of your screen, accompanied by Tap, who has that Pulse Bomb online. And it wouldn't be the first time that we saw the Mines and the Pulse Bomb combine to be a deadly combination. Transcendence comes out from Pizza Demon to keep them alive during Brute's Dravidic Flux. As Milky Man gets caught into a small space, has the whole hog available, gonna go ahead and use that to deter the support line and actually take them out of the fight completely. Spray's Tac Visor also gonna help with that. And it's up to Uprising Academy now to mitigate things with no supports online. Tap's gonna help and take out the support line from square one. So it's just a battle of DPS and tanks on the point right now. But Wayfast does have that tac visor up and ready. Milky Man making the fight, making his presence known. Needs to take a breather, but doesn't have the time. Able to squeak it in there at the very last second as Spee gets into the fight as well. The support
That was a really
coming back, but Uprising still not able to break in.
That was a really cool example of ping pong that you don't usually see. No! Pizza Demon! That's crucial! The support down again for Uprising Academy. Going back to what I was talking about, Brute uses the kinetic grasp to block the damage coming in on Milky Man and just come in front and take the damage. That's an example of ping pong you don't usually see. Ping pong is usually cycling around the point to contest the objective. This time it's contesting with your cooldowns and oppressing the opposition, and that was a really nice example of a different type of ping pong.
A lot of ultimates and crucial ones indeed coming online right now for Uprising Academy. They have the Pulse Bomb for the back line. They have the Tac Visor for the front. Tac Visor and Pulse Bomb both going to be stuck out. The stuck goes in, but it's not going to find the kill. Aspen able to save with that rally. Hasn't been able to play the game much, but having a huge impact here and now. As False takes out Spee, square one down two. Uprising has what they need to take the point. Their presence has been made known. But False into the corner on this D.Va, mighty low, but barely able to escape with their lives. Pulse Bomb comes out, not able to find much from King. Spee now working up to another Tac Visor. The question is, can square one keep enough bodies on point? Looks like Tap's got something to say about it before King takes him out of the fight. Spee gonna make his way back on the overtime push. It looks like Uprising Academy does have control of the fight. Spee might be able to bring up that Tac Visor, but no real opportunity to use it.
Wow, every single time we get down to this last-ditch fight, where Uprising Academy, they have to make it scrappy, they've got to get into engage. It's always Tap with the clutch play, making sure they stay in the map or win the map, depending on what scenario it is. But Tap coming in clutch yet again for Uprising Academy, as they want to go straight on to point B and get a snowball going.
And Jakaru continuing to be a nuisance. King just like, okay, if you're going to just roll through here errantly, I'll go ahead and build 40% of my ult off of you real quick. Not that bad of a deal for King. Coming into the next engagement, square one really has the upper hand. They knew exactly where Uprising was going to be coming from and knew exactly how to deal with it.
Yeah, Milky Man getting another hook onto Pizza Demon. That's happened a couple times too many, I think, this series. And it brings the problem with this defeaters and composition. It's really hard to maneuver the path around the map with this backline. We saw this problem in Contenders. I believe it was Noble versus Drifters, or it was Revival versus Noble, I believe, where they were trying to path the Zenyatta around the map and they just couldn't quite do it. They couldn't get the Zenyatta around in Bonnie of all places. Now we're in a similar map where you're trying to get the Zenyatta up the high ground. It's so difficult to do that when you've got a Tracer looking at angles, a Roadhog trying to get hooks. It's really difficult in this situation.
Read from King, popped in to try and get the Pulse Bomb in there. Oh, and there goes now! Isn't gonna find anything. Abel was able to avoid the defense matrix, but Wayfast now on the high ground with the Tac Visor, takes out King. That's gonna open things big as the self-destruct decimates the support line of square one, and another pick now. Uprising Academy still a 6-man team versus a 3-man defense for Spee, working hard to equalize as much as possible and allow for the respawns for square one to come back into this fight. No ultimates on board for either side, so it's gonna be a brawl, and Exaroth, Spee, and King are gonna be the ones fighting it out. Jakaru not able to get out as King on this Doomfist. Oh, barely misses.
King made a terrific play. So that's as we saw from our terrific observers, we had the Soldier 76 in Wayfast and Pizza Demon on the Zenyatta in the back, just spamming from the high ground. We saw King coming from the top left to come in and get rid of Pizza Demon instantly. After I've got the final shot, but King, terrific rollout to get onto that backline. And ultimately, that's what won square one the fight. It means that only one fight left for Uprising Academy to take point B Hanamura. And if you feel that they can't take this point, square one might have the momentum back in this series.
And with 59% built up, square one will have a win condition coming into their attack. This will not be a drawable situation. You see Jakaru getting out of the high ground, but immediately getting deterred. A lot of damage getting dished out, but Exaroth is the first one to find themselves into the kill feed as it looks green and mean. Square one able to stabilize. 11 seconds left for Uprising Academy, and just Jakaru and Tap really there to make that overtime contest.
They don't even get into that last fight. They can't touch the point, however. If they can get back, they still have a tactical visor.
Looks like that Tac Visor going to be popped out from Spee. wants to find every little person coming from every nook and cranny onto the point, is able to take Jakaru out of the fight as the final brawl of Hanamura First Go ensues. Able to position himself very well there in the back line with the Transcendence coming out from Exarath, a rally online now from Aspen. The sustain is there for Square One. All that needs to be done is for the wait to happen for Pizza Demon's Transcendence to end. The kills now coming through for Square One as they deter Uprising Academy from the second point.
Square One looks so much better on this Roto composition. They weren't able to figure out how this Wrecking Ball worked out. They just didn't have it function. You know, Monkeyman died 5 times on their attack on Rialto, so they switched it up. Monkeyman's playing this Roadhog, and now, instead of Monkeyman being kind of the reason they're losing, Monkeyman's kind of become the hidden X factor. You're seeing Monkeyman get these hooks onto the Zenyatta Pizza Demon so often, and that's so critical because you're not only killing a support and getting an advantage in the fight, you're also getting rid of that support ultimate charge, and we know how critical support ultimates are in Overwatch, so Monkeyman becoming, you know, the hidden factor to now the X factor, and that's critical for Square One. Having your star main tank who's performing is a critical thing, especially when you really need it in this series to come back and try and get into contenders.
This looks like a bit of a situation where first map Square One was like, you know what, this is the composition that it looks like we should use, and then that didn't work. And so they said, well, this is the composition that they're using, and that didn't work. So now they've gone, well, hey, what composition can we use? What are we good at? Stop trying to match Uprising Academy. We're going to play our own picks, and that has completely changed their game.
Yeah, and I feel like Square One have the ability to do that because Square One, they're probably the most flexible roster in Contenders Trials right now. You know, as I said, they picked up Aspen who could play all of the main supports to a pretty strong level. Milkyman is a pretty good main tank, you know. I've talked about Milkyman before the game started, coming for Gigante at one point. King is a pretty good flex DPS, can play Silver, can play Echo, can play Tracer, can play a lot of different heroes, even Genji as well. So I like the Square One roster, especially how flexible it is, and now they're showing us a new look as well. Back to this Silver Reaper look.
Yeah, we're going back to that Blackout Brawl that you said you believe is one of the strongest compositions. Well, it looks like Square One is going to agree with you. Able to make themselves a nice little home here just outside of the point where they can plan their process of attack. Taking position on to the point with that dive, just in case Uprising Academy confronts them, they can all get out and find the targets that they want. It looks like Square One immediately going to go ahead and just recede a little bit. Going to give a little bit of space to Uprising Academy, make them feel comfortable, but Wayfast going to take Spree out of the fight very early on, and without that Reaper, without that Death Blossom ult being built up, it could cause an issue, but not when Jakaru goes down. No main tank available for Uprising Academy, just falls on this Sigma as the kills begin to come through. Square One building up a mighty fine ultimate bank, as well as the fact that their EMP is at 98%. You may have Attack Visor online from Wayfast, but King's EMP in the next fight is going to be a big factor.
Yeah, EMP is the best ultimate in this game because not only does it allow you to get aggressive in the fight and use your ultimates, it shuts down anything your opponent could do, any cooldowns, any ultimates, any sort of fight plan your opponent has they can't use. So King, that EMP is going to be critical next fight, and they need to ensure they get Pizza Demon in it because they are very close to that Transcendence.
Transcendence, a life-saving ultimate, and probably one of the most important right now online for Uprising Academy coming into this next engagement. But a big hack comes through, but it's not as big as they want. They only find 2, but the kills are still going to be able to be there for Square One. Looks like they've trapped False in a corner, and that's going to be it for Sigma. Didn't wear shoes and couldn't find the exit, as Square One is able to make their way onto the point, and aside from mitigating with a couple of respawns and eating up a couple of pulse bombs, they should be able to take this.
Yeah, they're just going to clean up this fight. There's nothing really to do. Aspen getting a cheeky little environmental kill on the Wayfast. That's one for the compilation at the end, a nice Lucio montage, but that's really it. That's really all this fight is going to supply. And that is point A heading over to Square One. And heading into this next fight, it's looking good for both teams. Both teams have a nice collection of ultimates, but Square One, they want to go now. They have the sound barrier online.
Oh no! Exarath didn't make the jump!
Oh dear. Now they gotta back up quickly.
Square One has such an opportunity to just keep the aggression going and change the pace of the fight, but sadly Exarath not able to make the speed boosted fade jump.
Oh, that's just unfortunate. That's the second time Axelrod has fallen off the map in a critical moment, so hopefully it doesn't happen again. It becomes a bit of a meme. But heading into this next fight, both of these teams have ultimates. It's going to be who gets the better value out of each of them.
Ooh, and a good set of bombs set out by Wayfast. It's going to open up a kill for False, and that's just going to be a cascading effect for Uprising Academy. They're going to easily control this fight and defend their point. Reminder, guys, Square One does not have to take the entirety of point 2. They just have to get to 60%.
Yeah, they only really expend their coalescence there, so a nice engagement tool and a pretty cheap and easy ultimate to build right back up. They get their Gravitic Flux out of Uprising Academy, and they're going to actually switch up their approach. They're going to go for the Diva, and I actually don't like the switch from Uprising Academy. The reason I don't like this switch is because if Square One want to opt into going up to that top right they did before, you lose a lot of spam potential, and that means a lot of extra damage going into that top room isn't going to be there. So, and now that Square One are going to actually take that approach themselves.
Pokemon is going to go ahead and initiate the dive here. A sound barrier from Aspen is going to give them a little bit more confidence. The Diva Bomb goes down the throat of the stairs into the back line. Isn't going to find it killed. They're able to get around the corner just in time, and the exit is sealed off by Jakaru's minefield, allowing for Uprising Academy to simply soft disengage and re-engage with fierceness.
Yeah, Square One, they go up the left-hand side, they change to the right-hand side, and Uprising Academy, they're ready to go. They know exactly what they're going to be targeting, and they do extremely well. And Square One, they've actually decided to switch up their composition. I guess that's due to the fact King only got 30% of their EMP that fight, so they don't think they're going to get a good EMP fight, so they're going to switch it up. And Uprising Academy, they see their composition switch, they're going to go right back to that Sigma.
So now we got a little bit of an equalizer going on, with Brute going back to that Sigma, King going back to the Tracer. The question is, Wayfast has this Echo up and tap, able to farm a lot of this Pulse Bomb up off of Milky Man. At the beginning of this engagement, will definitely have that destructive ultimate online for the next fight. Pulse looks like we're gonna have a Primal Rage up onto the high ground, but a Transcendence coming out from Pizza Demon is gonna keep things alive as False continues to help Uprising Academy keep their defensive hold here on point 2 of Hanamura. Jakaru goes in the backline, gets stunned in the process, but a Gravitic Flux coming out from Wayfast is gonna get interrupted. Not able to find the full ultimate, but still able to find the kills.
Yeah, I think that's a quick and easy fight win for Uprising Academy. They're just going to clean up this up pretty nicely. The problem is they use pretty much all their ultimates. They're probably going to build up to their minefields, and they're still going to have that pulse bomb for the next fight. But Square One, if you kind of look at the ultimates they're going to get mid-fight, they're actually in a pretty strong place. They're probably going to get Gravitic Flux. They're probably going to get both of their support ultimates and both of their DPS ultimates. So if they can build up to those ultimates and use them mid-fight, they're going to be in a pretty strong place, and we're kind of edging towards last fight territory here.
Crucial that Tap's Pulse Bomb find something against Square One here in this engagement. Otherwise, they are going to have more than the upper hand in the next fight. You see the Pulse Bomb comes out. It doesn't find anything, opening the door for Square One. Exawrath able to find Pizza Demon out, so no Transcendence, no ult charge for that Zenyatta. False does have the Gravitic Flux, but no! Speed gonna be able to find the damage onto that Sigma as well. You've really only got Jakaru and the Mines online right now for Uprising Academy, but in the transcending Zenyatta, gonna go ahead and tank up all that damage and allow for Aspen to go nuts. Finds 3, and Square One keeps themselves in the fight.
We saw Spee in the kill feed a lot at the start of that last fight, but realistically, we gotta credit the support line of Square One and their adaptations that they make. They had the Lucio Moira, they worked great for them on point A, they played extremely well with it, they wanted to go super aggressive on point B, it didn't work out with Seraph unfortunately making that mistake, but they made up for it with that duel against Pizza Demon, making sure they win that Zenyatta war, and then they can keep the battle flowing with their Orb of Discord to make sure their target priority is great. Also, I want to credit Aspen, because we've talked about how Tap is focusing Aspen, trying to get those pulse bombs onto the Square One main support. The problem is, this time, Aspen was ready, gets the stun, avoids the pulse bomb, and sets them up for the next fight extremely well, and also finishing the fight with 3 final blows. So Square One support line stepping up big when they need to, and they're coming right back into the series.
And you talked briefly about how Square One just might be one of the most flexible rosters currently in Contenders Trials, and I feel like this map was a perfect example of that. We saw, what was it, 3-4 different compositions coming out from Square One depending on the obstacle that they encountered.
Yeah, we saw the Tracer Soldier with the Hulk in the Sigma. We saw the Wrecking Ball in the Sigma. We've seen a lot of different compositions. We also saw the Sombra Reaper, which I am a huge fan of. We saw a little bit of a mix of the two when they were still trying to go for the Sombra and they had the Brigida Zang going still. So I think it's super exciting to see them come into their own in this series and bring it back because we saw them win 3-2 against Turner MS. They're now coming back into this series. This team has grit and has flexibility and has so much promise, and I can't wait to see a little bit more of it.
We're not going to have to wait that much longer to see a little bit more of it, but we are going to be going to a quick break, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure that you grab yourself a new bowl of popcorn, and we'll be right back.
So you queue up for Overwatch Ranked, only to be greeted by this, which then leads to this, and oh no, Reinhardt, what are you doing? The solution? Elo Hell pickup games.
Hey, you know what? Just
Oh my god, it's huge! Oh, no! Kill! Let's go.
Open to players of all ranks and most platforms, Pugs give you the chance to experience competitive Overwatch as it was meant to be played, competitively.
I need help.
I'm with you.
Shoot.
no way, dude.
Go. Let's go. Nice. Good call.
Players set their icons to indicate the role they want to play, then two captains pick their teammates and draft the most competitive teams they can. You can also take part in our pioneering learning event, Coached Pugs. To take part, join the Elo Hell Pickup Games Discord, and be sure to read the Pug Guide and FAQ. Good luck, have fun, and we'll see you in-game.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. I told you it wasn't going to be long. Ocean. We've seen a bit of a beatdown to start things off from Uprising Academy. They had a really big upper hand. Square One comes into that last map and they said, screw it. We're going to go ahead and play our own game here. And they've been able to take a map down. You were talking earlier about how they had that 3-2 over 200 MS, a team that is impressive to take that win over. Do you think Square One's got the momentum to get another map over on Uprising Academy?
I mean, Uprising Academy and Square One, they've been close every single map, and it's come down to a player in the first two maps. It was realistically Jacory on Nijong and Tap on Rialto coming up with the clutch play in the last fight. This time it was Aspen on Hanamura, so if you notice, that's both of the additions for these rosters popping off and clutching a map win for their teams. Now, heading into Iconville, we'll see who is able to do it this time around. And one thing I do want to know, real quick, is both of these teams are probably competing for that contender slot because realistically, them and R0 are probably the strongest teams in their group right now. So them competing with each other and R0, this is a critical must-win match for both of these teams.
And the fact that we're going to Eichenwald, do you think that might throw any kinks into the machine? Because a lot of the teams that compete in tournaments and in organized play, it's the format where the loser gets to pick the next map, and often that means that teams decide to go to Hollywood or to Kingsborough, depending on what kind of composition you get, but not often do we get to see Eichenwald in those situations.
I actually do have a little bit of a feeling on this, and I actually think this favors Uprising Academy. So in Rialto, how strong they were at controlling high ground, especially on their defense. Square One have been good at it, especially on Hanamura, but I don't think they're as good as Uprising Academy at it. And specifically on point B, where you see a lot of difference in the time banks and how time's shortened down, you usually see teams get to point C, but point B is the big difference maker on how much time goes off the clock, right? And point B, where you're controlling the high ground, I think Uprising Academy are going to have a huge advantage over Square One, and that's going to be the critical point of this map.
Oh, well, doesn't look like we're going to see too much of a compositional switch from either of these teams. Uprising Academy will continue with their Sigma ball. You see, I think that was King there, just making sure that nobody came around the outside. As a slow push goes in from Uprising Academy, being very careful, getting the scouting out that they need done as they move on to the clock tower. Tap now meeting up with Jakaru into the back line. Going to get to turn. Nice placement from Milky Man to make sure that the Tracer can't have free reign of that back line. And that's going to allow for Brute to focus on the front there. Uprising Academy, regardless of losing a member, will go ahead and continue in on their engage. Tap hiding into the back, waiting for the call from Jakaru to reveal themselves. I don't think, doesn't look like, oh no, Square One knows they're there for sure. You see Aspen scouting them out, letting Spee know that I need a little bit of help back here. There's a Tracer here on the high ground, and Wayfast is able to find an opening kill onto Milky Man, and the health battery goes down. Without that Roadhog, it's going to be difficult for Square One to continue the level of sustain that they've been able to work with. King going down as well. 2 down for Square One, and Uprising Academy have the engagement they want. Transcendence alive for Pizza Demon, but not needed as the kills come through.
Both teams were kind of a stalemate for so long because Square One got a really nice opening pick. They were scouting out their opposition well. They knew where they were. They're running this Roadhog and Sigma composition, which isn't as good strong at making space, but it is stronger at being a more stabilized force. So they're going to be able to take the high ground now and have a little bit of a positional advantage. But going back to that last fight, I'm a little bit concerned at how they just dropped off. I'm not exactly sure what happened to Milky Man, but as soon as that Roadhog went down, that fight swung the way of Uprising Academy. And that's a little bit concerning since they had the positional advantage and they had the current advantage of knowing where their opponents were. It's going to be interesting to see what happened to Milky Man.
Well, a lot of free space being given over to Uprising Academy. Square One's going to tentatively kind of control this high ground in order to set up Spree for a good amount of damage to build up that ultimate. You see Milky Man going and scouting, trying to find the Wrecking Ball, but getting caught out by the entirety of Uprising Academy in the process. Getting caught in a very alone situation. That's going to allow for an easy 2 kills, and another snowball comes through for Uprising Academy. This is the second time that we've seen Milky Man be that domino that tips the scale.
Yeah, it is. I actually would like to say this is the first time. I feel like on Rialto when they're playing the Wrecking Ball, it's the same mistakes. It's different heroes, same mistakes, where they're trying to create this space and they're trying to do it alone, when realistically, that's not what your competition's good at, that's not what your hero is good at, and he's just unable to do it. However, I did like the fact Square One just wanted to control that high ground there. I think that's good awareness.
Oh, and with a big Gravitic Flex match with a ground and pound, they're going to be able to put that Pulse Bomb exactly where they need it. Aspen getting taken out of the fight one more time. Exarath getting bullied into a corner, not able to get out and heal his team as Uprising Academy continues to enable Jakaru in this Wrecking Ball role.
Yeah, Wayfast going backwards point, use that tactical visor really well there. And now, in this last fight, or this last objective, I'm concerned for Square One. There's 4 minutes 30 on the time, like they barely were able to get any sort of hold or any sort of stabilize on point B, and that's, as I said, the big time difference maker on this map usually. So they're going to need some huge plays from King and Speed, who have their ultimates online, to make sure that they can hold in this corner and get something going for this defense on point C, I can roll.
Ult economy for Uprising Academy in a position where Square One has that opportunity. They can stop the momentum here and now with a couple of key plays. Hinging, of course, on this Pulse Bomb from King. Is able to throw it out, but in an errant position. Wayfast finds 2 in the process. And that's not the engagement you want to see from Square One. Multiple ultimates were used, but still no real effect on Uprise Academy's momentum.
King's got the clutch on this Doomfist. They need a pick and now, otherwise it's going to be a fast cut for Uprising Academy and there's no way back.
Yeah, tap in the backline, looking for the perfect target, finds it. Aspen with a Pulse Bomb, and once again, back to spawn. Aspen just has not been able to breathe a sigh of relief in this engagement, as that Gravitic Flux, no doubt, will push that payload to its final position.
3 minutes, 24 seconds is a dominant time by Frankeveld. I've said Square One are gutsy, I've said they're flexible, but I'm not sure they can come back from this. But if any team in the trials could do it, it's them. I want to see Square One's potential, and so does everyone watching, because that's the magic of Tier 2.
Now, do you think that the fact that these teams, most likely, they don't get as much playtime on Eichenwald as they do other maps, do you think that factors into what we saw from the defense of Square One?
Not really. I think that's definitely a good, question to ask. It's definitely an important question to ask, especially when a lot of these teams won't be familiar with this map. I just think it's personal mistakes, realistically. We know that Tapestry trying to focus down Aspen. Aspen wasn't given that support. We saw she was trying to get Fee over to help her with that Tracer. They just snowballed from there after Milky Man went down. 2 occasions where Milky Man went down. There was also the personal mistakes from their main tank, who, I must add, this is out of character for Milky Man. Milky Man is usually a very consistent main tank, usually doesn't make these mistakes, but these mistakes have been happening, and we wouldn't be doing our jobs if we weren't pointing it out. So the consistent mistakes from their main tank, and they're losing any sort of momentum they have, and also the lack of support for their new main support addition is not helping them in this current scenario, and they've got to patch up fast like they did in Hanamura if they're going to come back in this instance.
Well, it looks like they're going to be bringing out that Ham and Sigma composition that we talked about them transitioning to when their initial composition was just not getting the job done. So we'll see if Milky Man able to keep themselves alive a little bit longer. Does take that roundabout, round the side route here on Eichenwald. So Uprising Academy will know that there is going to be pressure coming in from the backside. Pizza Demon, however, going to go ahead and deal with it in the front line, taking out King with those orbs in a very early engagement. And unless they can deal with it, they do. Fall's going to go ahead and fall as well. Speed not able to get out of that engagement alive as Tap equalizes for Uprising Academy. Square One is going to have to bring a different game plan to the table.
Yeah, they've already done that. They went over to the Wrecking Ball composition that they've seen Uprising Academy on. Or again, they want to go back to this mirror. And they're bringing a new thing to the game, but it's something that already failed in this matchup. And I'm not sure that's great for your confidence. Look, Speed's down again.
You know, I had a conversation with somebody recently about why Zenyatta continues to get play when there's such an immobile support. They can't heal too much, yada yada yada. No damage fall off.
Yeah.
You know, you can shoot those orbs out left and right, and it doesn't matter how long they travel, they're still going to have a big impact. And Uprising Academy going to go ahead and carry the back of that. Milky Man not able to get in to make an impact on the group fight at all as he gets hit with that shield bash. And Square One needs to switch something up, throw Uprising Academy off kilter somehow.
I'm not so sure that it will even matter. If they want to make a support composition change or any sort of composition change, they're going to go down in the ultimate economy. And look, Uprising Academy, they have their Transcendence, their Gravitic Flux, and the Minefield Online, almost a duplicate as well. So they're already down there. They don't want to put themselves at another disadvantage.
Oh, but a Gravitic Flux is going to put them at just that. Finding two and a third on the back end. False. True. It works. I don't care. Uprising Academy going to continue their defense here. Brute the only one alive, and he's going to get bullied back to spawn. This is a dominant showing from Uprising Academy.
There's a positive though. Square One, they know that Uprising Academy won't have their Transcendence, won't have their Gravitic Flux, so they have a little bit of freedom to move in here, build up the support ultimates of their own, and go again, because if they get any sort of momentum, this series isn't over.
Oh, still two ultimates online, like you said. Echo going to be a big factor in Uprising Academy's defense here. They have their minefield, they have their pulse bomb. Square One has their hope in sights, able to put the minefield high and dry onto the point, so no immediately kills come through. At this point, Uprising Academy knows what area they need to be straying away from. The stick goes onto the Sigma. Oh, it's two! Way fast in passing is going to get taken out by the pulse bomb, and Taps is only able to find one, but Aspen is still online at 91% to that rally. It's just a matter of time before that support ultimate is online and in full fruition. Brute with the Gravitic Flux into the backline onto the point will take Drizro out of the fight as Jakaru just getting completely gate-kept in that small hallway by the support line. Square One able to take the point with 35 seconds left.
Every single time I'm seeing Square One pop up, it's King getting a huge pulse bomb or getting a huge pick, or it's their support line working together tremendously. At the back end of that last fight, we saw Jakaru really wanted that kill on the extra. Aspen just said, no, you're not killing my flex support today. Use the shield and the whip shot terrifically to help their flex support, and they can, you know, have more fights like that where their supports are able to work together a little bit more. Square One will be in a really good spot.
Oh, 2 minutes and 35 seconds. However, they don't have that much wiggle room. They can't make as many mistakes as you might be allowed to previously. Way fast working on the shield of Aspen. There on the high ground has the Echo available. Just waiting for the call from the team. Go ahead and go on in. There it goes. Is able to get the Sigma. There's two Gravitic Fluxes online. This is absolute domination. One goes down. Wayfest now bringing up the second. Up and down they go, but it doesn't really matter. Exaraf has the Transcendence to keep Square One into the battle, but the DPS is not done yet. Aspen will get taken out as the main tank falls for Uprising Academy. But the equalizations are going to come through pretty well, and a soft disengage from Square One will be in order.
Actually, I think both teams are going to self-disengage here. Milky Man's going to use the minefield to give their team a little bit of traction here on the point. The problem is you won't have the ultimate online for the next fight, and Jakaru will. So now the ultimate advantage is flipped back over to Uprising Academy, and that means you're going to be in a little bit of trouble in this next fight, but does mean you're still in the series.
Oh, and an early pulse bomb comes out and finds Extrarat! Just floats over that bomb, doesn't see it happening, and Square One now down a healer and a little bit of ult charge. Are gonna have to kind of back out and equalize. They don't want to engage too much here. You don't want to give too much ult charge over to Uprising Academy, a team that currently already has a phenomenal ult bank.
That's not good for Square One. They lost their Zenyatta early in the fight, which means, of course, they lose that fight, but it also means they can't build up towards that Transcendence. That means it will not be online for a very long time. Looks like there was that tap trying to get a cheeky pick from the spawn, going off with the high ground, will recall back to their team, and Square One, if they're going to win this, it's going to be on Space Tactical Visor.
Well, Speed now the one that everybody's got their eyes on, and no doubt so does Uprising Academy. Minefield's off on the top of the bridge. Exarap's going to be taken out first. Brute next to follow. Square One in a very difficult position right now as they fight up the mountain, losing members one by one. Uprising Academy putting only 28 seconds on the clock for Square One. And they are not relenting. They are not giving them any wiggle room.
Well, they still have 20 seconds on the clock. They did a terrific job realizing this fight's over. They've used the rally Transcendence and the Minefield. We can't win this fight. So now they're still the Tactical Visor online, and there's still 20 seconds to get back on the point and get ready to go. But it's still going to be an uphill battle.
Oh, and the Gravitic Flux out very early. Oh, it's going to take Speed out of the fight. The Tac Visor was online. Speed taken down. That ultimate no longer in contention. King, a mighty, mighty heavy weight on their shoulders with the Pulse Bomb alive, but getting chased out and taken down by Tap, who expertly recalls in the middle of that Pulse Bomb. And that's going to be it for Square One. Uprising Academy are going to be able to take their second map, or their second game, I should say, here at Contenders Trials.
And it's a critical one for them. They beat Last Hope yesterday pretty dominantly, and I would say Last Hope is one of the weaker teams in Group A. But today, they beat Square One, and I would say Square One is in the top 3 teams in this group. They're going to be competing with Square One for these top 2 slots to get into Contenders. I think R0 is probably the other team in that sort of elite level group for Uprising Academy and Square One to compete with. So Square One, they've not got a difficult task on their hands. They now have to beat R0 and make sure they're flawless for the rest of Contenders Trials. Otherwise, they're in trouble. Uprising Academy, looking the best they've ever looked in Contenders Trials, in my opinion. Jake Koru definitely spreading a new level for them.
Yeah, if you happened to tune in last night, and if not, I'll catch you up a little bit, but we did get to have an interview with Jakaru, and he did say that his goal was to take Uprising Academy back to Contenders. He said, we're an Academy team, and that's where we deserve to be. And if we're going to be in Contenders, we have to be able to compete with the other Academy teams there. And right now, Jakaru showing great leadership here in this engagement to bring Uprising Academy to a 2-0 in Trials.
All right, I think that's it for now. However, we're going to go to a quick break and we'll have a little bit of an interview with one of Uprising Academy stars.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I know Halloween is over and all, but we've got a treat for you. We've got Pizza Demon coming in from Uprising Academy, the aggressive Zenyatta, in my own words. Pizza, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good.
So I wanted to get this off my chest pretty early on. I'm a support main myself. The aggressive Zenyatta play that you come out with, where does that come from, and how does that fit into your composition?
Well, in the comps that you're playing with Zen right now, at least, most of your damage comes from your backline. So you have to play like a DPS. You have to play like you're just better than everyone, even if you think you're not. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Alrighty, that's a really good answer to that question. Definitely some unique insight. I'm going to ask you some questions about the series overall. We're going to start off with a little block of matches. Ryotsu and Lee Chong-tar, very, very close maps, but you managed to nick those at the end. Give me a little bit of an insight of what the communication was like near those last fight. How did you motivate yourselves to clutch up in those last fights?
In the last fights, we kind of just recognized our mistakes. How we were allowing a few people to get more value on the enemy team than they should be getting, and we just tried to shut those down and make plays where we can. There wasn't too much like overhype. It's just people trying to be focused and recognizing what we need to do.
That's important. You actually gave me a similar answer about the first map last time around when you were engaging or identifying your win condition earlier in the fights and going for it with that. So that's definitely a nice consistent factor that I like to see with these sort of contenders trials teams. And on to the next question. Hanamura, you guys definitely struggled a lot more. Still made it close. But what do you think giving your opponents the advantage on give Square One the advantage on Hanamura, and how did you fix that for the next map?
I think it was we were almost kind of respecting their composition too much.
Yeah.
Like the hog comp, pretty much just the hog. We were allowing him to kind of do whatever he wanted when we, as our comp can allow it, like we can just kill him. We can just one-shot him if we want to. And we recognized that after we lost that map, and we fixed it up really fast.
Yeah, okay, that's definitely an answer I was looking for, because we saw on Ikeval you guys were shutting down Milky Man at a lot of different occasions, and I always like to ask like the last question a little bit meaner. So what do you think gave you guys the advantage over Square One today? Were there any weaknesses that they had that you guys identified early on?
Not necessarily any weaknesses. I think everyone on this team is just insane, and they just played their game a lot better today, and they definitely just showed up more today.
Alrighty, those are awesome answers. I'm going to throw you back to Shido.
Always nice to hear the confidence that you've got there, the consistency, of course, that Ocean was talking about. But before we go, is there anything that you would like to say, any shout-outs that you would like to throw out there?
Not really any shout-outs. I just want to say that I'm proud of everyone on the team right now, and especially with Jake Carter coming in the mix and him taking like a leadership role. I think everyone's doing a good job right now. I'm just happy for him.
Awesome.
How wholesome. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Pizza Demon, thank you so much for joining us for an interview, and congratulations on your win today.
Thank you.
But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Pizza Demon from Uprising Academy as they take the 3-1 over Square One. And that is going to be it for our first two teams, but that's not it for me and Ocean. We are going to be having one more match coming up right after the break, so make sure that you stay tuned.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This is a lot harder than Spot the GM. Like, I don't know if this is actually someone trying or this is win trading. I don't even know what a bronze player plays like. So what we have to do is there's 5 golds. There's 5 golds and there's 1 secret bronze player. We have to find the bronze player on each team. The levels, don't look at the levels. The levels are irrelevant, and everyone's on alts. So we gotta find this together, and we're gonna, okay, let's get it, chat.
According to our YouTube statistics, only a small amount of people who watch our videos are actually subscribed. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. And if you'd like to be a part of any of our videos, become a YouTube member today. More info is in the description.
Let's get it. Let's do, what team do you guys want to do first? You know what? Let's do blue. Let's do blue. What do you guys want to look at first? You guys want to look at 5 golds and 1 bronze. I don't even know what a bronze player plays like. Okay, this guy has decent aim. I'm gonna be honest with you. He actually has decent aim. I don't think it's him.
The objective is now. Get back in the fight.
For some reason, I think it has to be this guy. For some reason. For a second, he takes out his melee weapon. I think it's the Torb, chat. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Look at you.
I think it's the Torb.
Such potential.
It has to be this guy. It has to be this guy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It has to be. If it's not the fucking Torb, I don't know what the fucking thing. That Pharah, I know it's not the Pharah. The Pharah's actually playing really fucking good. Am I Blizzard?
Back to the drawing board.
Okay, chat. We're gonna think it's the Torb real quick. Okay, let's look at someone else. Let's look at the Hog. He knows the left click melee combo, so I don't know. I don't think it's the Hog, I'm gonna be honest with you. And people are gonna say, dude, I'm fucking bronze and I know the left click melee. Hey, listen. I think it might not be the
Score 1-0.
We're gonna go back. We're gonna watch this again with the blue team, and then we're gonna go through the red team.
Got you good as new.
I mean, he knows always to have full ammo and everything, so he knows. I think he knows what he's doing. Like, he's on the flank. I don't think he knows what he's doing right now, but I think he overall knows what like the idea of Hog, and he just can't put it together. Okay, this man hasn't landed a hook since fucking... I don't know, man. Chat, I'm gonna be honest with you, he hasn't landed a hook. But, like, I still think it's the Torb. Oh, wait. The guy's playing a different character. Let's go look at that again. This guy's playing a different character. We gotta go watch this again, chat. He's the Torb player.
Gotcha. See you later. Feeling much better. Beacon in place. Here I am.
For some reason, I just think it's this guy. The way he aims, the way he's thinking, I think it's just him. I don't know why. No way this guy is the bronze. How is this guy not the bronze player?
I'm out of here.
Get in here.
Hello there.
He finally now just hacked a pack. Who else could it be on this team? He doesn't even look up at the guy.
Much better. Apagando las luces. Beacon in place.
Let's just look at other people real quick, just to confirm. I think it's Fusion. I think it's Fusion, chat. We haven't seen the supports or anything, so we're gonna look at this guy real quick and look at the sports. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be looking at from a Reinhardt, though. Like... Hold up, give me a second. Okay, we're going back to the beginning with this guy. He has Shatter. Let's see what this guy does. Good fire strike, hits 2 people. Oh, hits a fat one! There was the EMP that we saw. You guys are gonna say it's not him? Okay, chat. I'm putting my faith in you guys. We're not gonna say it's him. Let's try the Baptiste real quick.
Got you good as new. Get in here.
Well, this might actually be a hard one. This might be a tie between Fusion and Fire Breath, 87.
All better. Now.
I don't know, man. Chat, I need your guys' help. Hold on. Let's go back real second. Let's go back real fast. Let's see this guy's EMP. It was a good EMP, but it was a lost fight.
Me agarraste en curva.
But the BAP is sealing the floor? Yeah, I don't know if it's the BAP or it's the Torbjorn. I don't know. I mean, he was playing Mercy earlier, but I don't know what to expect from a Mercy. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't know what to expect from a Mercy. Like,
I'm taking care of it. I've got you.
no, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't think it's
Where does it go?
the other support.
You're covered.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think it's this guy. This guy's actually hitting his shots. I don't. Props to this guy. If he's gold, at least he hits his shots. This other guy right here. It's a tie between Fusion and Fire Breath 87. I just think this guy is sus as fuck for being the bronze. Like, this guy's crouch spamming. Okay. Okay, chat, can we all agree it's the Torb, it's Fusion? Can everyone agree on this? It has to be this guy, right? Everyone agree? Everyone agree? Yes? Okay, good. We're going to the red team now. Okay, let's look at the red team. Let's look at error 418. Let's keep watching. Let's keep watching.
That's how it's done.
Yeah, let's go, champ!
I will keep you healed.
You guys think this guy's gold? Really? What's giving him the gold vibe? I don't understand. What's giving him the gold vibe? He didn't go pick... Spees OW, I appreciate the 11 months, my dude. That's why I don't think it's my Blizzard on the other team. I think he's actually here pretty good. He actually kind of did good. Okay, if you guys don't think it's him. Let's look at the other DPS. He knows the angles. You gotta trust us. We're all gold here, not you. Okay, I trust you guys. This is on chat. If I lose this, it's because of you guys. Not him either? Holy shit, okay, okay. I trust you guys. None of the DPS. Okay, let's go. Let's go to Poppin. Let's see if Poppin's poppin'. Ah, shit. Wait, I just got off of Poppin. Reload, reload, reload. This is a lot harder than the spot the GM one. Holy shit, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This is a lot harder than spot the GM. Like, I don't know what I'm watching half the time on everyone. It's him? How do you guys think it's him? I don't understand. This guy has a better fucking hook accuracy than Unsalted Soul, at least.
That's how it's done.
He knows about the turn. He knows about the hook and turn. I don't know, man. Do bronze players land the hooks on Pharahs? I don't think it's Poppin'. I think Poppin' is actually Poppin'. Hook him into the pit, dude. Hook him into the... Okay, let's look at this guy.
Helden sterben nicht.
I think they win this, right? No, let's go. Let's look at the Reinhardt from the beginning. Been saying it's the Ryan since the beginning. We're checking him out right now. Let's see. Okay, this guy's building an AKM shadow right here, though. So let's see. Let's see. What is this guy doing on Reinhardt? What is he shielding? What is he... What is this? What is this man doing? Why is he holding it?
That's how it's done.
What is this guy's position? Dude, is this his first shatter still, chat? Did he shatter? He's shielding no one on his team. Still 58%. Gets nanoed. Still at 60% up. He went up 1% with being nanoed. Okay, he's slowly this hurts to watch, man. This hurts to watch. This hurts to watch. Maybe he gets better next game. Maybe he gets better next game. We're gonna look at him this game and look at the supports, and then we're gonna probably make our final decision here, chat. Okay, he's already got more ult charge than he did last game, so that's good. Dude, he got an eliminate.
This is not over. Yeah, let's go, champ.
What? I just want to know this guy's thought process. Shadow Gab at 99, I appreciate the 7 months. He got a pin. He almost has shatter. I just want to see what he does with this first shatter, chat. Let's look what he does with his first shatter, and then we're gonna base our opinion, our opinion, I guess. That was a big brain. That was a big brain. Took advantage of the little box to hit. That was a big brain. That was. Can I get a 5-head, please? That was a 5-head strat. that was called a drive-by smack. Oh my god. Let's see what he does with the shatter. Okay, we're gonna go to the sports. Let's go to the sports. Let's go to the sports. Let's just go to the sports. How do you judge a Mora gameplay, chat? How do you judge Mora gameplay? Definitely not him. It's definitely. Did you see that tracking? It's not the Mora. It's not the Mora. It's not the Mora. That tracking was just too insane. Woke up the sleeping target. That's good. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Do you guys think it's the main tank, or do you guys think it's this person? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. This might actually be a contender.
We must all make sacrifices in the name of science.
Doesn't you? Okay, I was about to say, doesn't you shift to get there quicker? What am I watching? Use the damage orb, PogChamp.
Repairing the damage.
I don't know, chat. It has to be. It has to be. The Mora didn't even use coalescence the whole game. Dude, chat, I know we were watching the Reinhardt, but have you seen this Mora gameplay? I don't fucking know which one it is. It has to be the Reinhardt or it has to be Mars.
Beginning. New thinking.
You could tell if they're bronze on Mercy, right? Like, I don't know if this is actually someone trying or this is win trading in this.
Right beside you. Damage amplified. Turret detected. Behind you. Under attack. Okay, for damage boost. Engage. Enemy turret. You needed a doctor? Take them down.
I don't know which one it has to be. It has to be. No, it's not the BAP on the other team. Fire Breath 87. I think he is kind of sus. The two people. Okay, here. Let's look at this a little bit more. Is she healing? Okay. Do they go for the res? I can't tell. I can't tell. What's the other support looking like? I'm gonna be honest with you, chat. I can't fucking tell.
Take your medicine. This will help.
Okay, listen, this is a lot better than what I was watching before. Okay, we're gonna go back. What? Okay, wait a minute. What was that sleep? We gotta look at this a little. Okay, the Ana, it's not the Ana. I don't think it's the Ana. I'm gonna be honest with you, chat. This is my honest opinion. This is my honest opinion, and you guys can agree with me, right? It has to be Fusion and Fire Breath 87 on the blue team, and it has to be either Ad Coolio or Mars on the fucking red team. Can we all agree to that? We nominated it down to 2 people on each team, so basically 4 people out of 12. In my honest opinion, I think it's gonna be Fusion and Mars. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like this guy's Mora gameplay. This guy's Mora gameplay has me fucking scared. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Like. But don't forget, chat. Don't forget.
Get into position.
Okay, use the normal. Wait a minute. We didn't see this part yet. We didn't see this part yet. Wait. Wait a minute. We haven't seen this yet, chat. This might be a game changer. What is this man fading into the backline for? You know he watches IRP. Okay. I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay. It has to be this guy or Ad Coolio. What's Ad Coolio doing? He knows how to corner peek with shield. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna have to go with my gut here. Chat, I'm gonna say, can we all agree? Fusion and Mars. Can we all agree? Can we all agree? Give me a Pog clap if you could agree. I honestly think it has to be Fusion and Mars. If it's not the Reinhardt, God bless his soul. I don't know how the fuck he got the gold. And if it's not Fire Beast 87, I don't know how much he paid for that account, but he must have paid a pretty good penny for a gold account, because I don't know, that man was shooting at fucking walls. Let's look at it. I don't know who it is. Let's look at it. Okay, good thing we didn't look at them. What? He was gold? No way that man was gold. There's no way. It had to be Fire Breath 87. No fucking way. And Coolio was gold? There's no fucking way, dude. There's no fucking way. It was Fire Breath 87 and Mars. We got 1 out of 2. Mars, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Mars gave himself away by being I think he was playing without a monitor. I think he was playing without a monitor. But Fire Breath 87, dude, Fire Breath 87. He was our second guess, man, because he was shooting at fucking walls. But Fusion was being a fucking 1 out of 2 is not bad.
Uprising Academy, they lay down the shatter, let the bodies hit the floor. Uprising Academy at 95%. Right now with Hydra building up to this Bear Barrage so quickly. Oh, and asking.
Double kill in the back with the pulse bomb from the high ground. Aerial assault with that mine.
Impact, se escucha de abajo gritar campeón a Sky Foxes.
Holy cow.
And after 42 consecutive losses, the Shanghai Dragons get their first win.
8 teams enter this weekend.
Oh no, Reinhardt, what are you doing?
We've got a clip with minimal information. It's time to break it down. Speed, 25%. Go. Figure out what this man's SR is.
Keep fighting till it's for sure lost. Winnable!
So you queue up for Overwatch Ranked, only to be greeted by this, which then leads to this, and oh no, Reinhardt, what are you doing? The solution? Elo Hell pickup games.
Hey, you know what? Just what you're doing.
Oh my god, it's huge! Oh! Kill, 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 kill! Let's go, let's go, let's go!
Open to players of all ranks and most platforms, Pugs give you the chance to experience competitive Overwatch as it was meant to be played. Competitively.
I need help, I need help.
I'm with you, I'm with you.
Shoot.
No way, dude.
Go. Let's go. Nice. Good call.
Players set their icons to indicate the role they want to play, then 2 captains pick their teammates and draft the most competitive teams they can. You can also take part in our pioneering learning event, Coached Pugs. To take part, join the Elo Hell Pickup Games Discord, and be sure to read the Pug Guide and FAQ. Good luck, have fun, and we'll see you in-game.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you that have stayed with us, you know what's gone down. But I'm Straddle24, and joining me for tonight is my good friend Ocean, and just a little bit of a breakdown of what you may have missed if you're just joining now. Our schedule for today, we started off with Boston. Give me some insight here. What do we got?
So both of these teams kind of coming from the tier 3 ladder, not really having so much a prominent impact in the tier 2 scene recently, until recently. In Trial of Champions, both teams were in the top 6, and Anteiku was also in the finals for that event. And a little bit of a flip around for Open Division, where Anteiku, they underperformed a little bit, they came third, whereas No Evil, they finished second. So both of these teams being pretty neck and neck heading into Contenders trials. Both are now 1-0, both winning their first games yesterday. So now, one of them will go home with a 2-0 record, one will be 1-1, and they're really going to be in a really good spot to head into the rest of the week, feeling pretty good about getting into Contenders.
Well, let's take a look at what players kind of consist of these two teams. And Anteiku here, you've got Biz and Nilati pulling up on the DPS role, Kami and Dusk on the tank position, and Pascal and Vega pulling up on the support line.
Yeah, No Evil. You know, I always like to highlight Bun on this roster. I think Bun is a tremendous Sombra player and play a couple of other hit scans. When you watch No Evil, you're probably going to see some of these Sombra-based compositions because Bun is so good at that hero. I also really like Client, who originally watched Client. I didn't really notice much, but then when I went back to watch Client, I thought that they were a tremendous diva, and I keep watching Client and think, actually, they're pretty good at this game. I think they're a tremendous diva player, and I think the X factor for No Evil right now is going to be Bun or Client. So we'll hopefully for them, they'll get back into this series and start off strong.
Now, with what we saw from our last series, there was a lot of the Sigma Hammond just in general playing a very large role in those compositions. Do you think we're going to be seeing the same thing, even though these two teams don't necessarily on paper seem to adhere to that kind of composition, or are we going to see them playing their own game?
I feel like on Lijiang we'll probably see the same thing. I think we'll see a lot of that Big Zenyatta composition with the Wrecking Ball. I think that just seems to be a control thing in general. It's very, very short creating space. A lot of space is kind of there for you on control. Later on in the series, I think we can expect No Evil to go back to that Sombra composition that they're so comfortable on. Because when we last saw them play actually against R0 and Trial of Champions, they kind of tried out these different compositions that they weren't really comfortable on, and it just didn't work out at all. So hopefully they come back to their identity and look strong yet again.
Well, we're going to get a first look. They're showing a Hammond right now with the Diva for Anteiku, but of course, you can't really trust these early picks. You got to wait till they're out the gate here on Lijiang Tower. The Sombra Tracer from No Evil, a very versatile and slippery damage line coming into play. And we're going to be getting the first engagement there on the bridge, kind of tying No Evil up for a little bit before he returns back to his team, allowing for Delilah to get a couple of pot shots in there at the very beginning, and they're going to send Biz over onto the point just to make sure there's a little bit of a contest and a presence, and Ultra getting baited into the dive. Getting taken out in the process is going to start things off for Anteiku. No Evil without their main tank, not able to build up that primal rage. There are going to be a couple of D-suits as the Bunny Blasters come online. That's not going to be too much of an issue. Cammy rolling and trolling across the back is able to keep themselves alive and in the fight, but Bud able to get into the back line of Anteiku as Client Self-Destruct comes online and immediately goes into use. No Evil will be able to take that first point.
When we watch No Evil, we usually see the Reaper variation of this Sombra dive brawl hybrid composition, but this time they're running the Tracer. And what the Tracer allows you to do is target that backline a lot more. And we talked about the sort of less mobility-based backline of Zenyatta and Brigitte in the last series. And when you have a less mobile backline, this Tracer can get a lot of value in the pick value at targeting those backline heroes and getting strong value in the fight.
Oh, there goes the early echo from Anteiku. Delilah gonna go ahead and try and get an early EMP online. Isn't able to, gets booped out of the fight there pretty early on and melted down. Only 1% health, won't be able to get the EMP online. Good job on Bun to keep eyes on that echo, but there's a hack still online. 5 people on No Evil go down, and even though Client's able to get that opening kill, Delilah with the focus beam is gonna tip things back in Anteiku's favor. Sound barrier will come out from Basil, and that's going to keep No Evil in the fight for just a tad bit longer, but the kills are still coming through for Anteiku. So at about 63-64%, they'll be able to take it.
I think they're just going to come back in here. They invested in the Sound Barrier for a reason. They're getting close to that EMP. They might just want to keep fighting this one, do No Evil.
Oh, but a couple kills come through before Bun can come in with that ultimate. No Evil now gonna have to turn back to spawn, save that utility. Good calls. You don't want to be shooting out ultimates when you don't need them.
Yeah, the important thing for both teams is basically the EMP counter on the opposition side, the Transcendence or the Sound Barrier, depending on what side you're looking at, are not available for each team. So that means EMPs are going to have great value for Bun here, and if Delilah wants to copy that Sombra, they can also get a really nice EMP off, and I think that's exactly what Delilah has to do if they're going to win this next fight.
Up to the second try, but the self-destruct will find Cammy out in just a bit of an awkward position. Vega and Pascal both going to be falling for Anteiku as No Evil very valiantly and defiantly says, you know what, you can have your 37%, but we're not going to use, well, anything really to take this point back.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really clean fight win from No Evil. They just used that beautiful, beautiful EMP, and that was a quick and easy fight win. Delilah wasn't able to respond, but now they can respond. They have that Echo Duplicate still online. Pascal close to the Transcendence as well, so there are tools online for Anteiku. They look to take the space and get involved.
Oh, and Zira getting up close and personal with the Pulse Bomb, sees the defense matrix out, but Biz gonna be the one with the Pulse Bomb to talk about. Swift gonna be taken out of the fight. Coalescence was online, but gets taken out of the equation.
but at 99% now, no evil. All they have to do is sustain on the point. Vega putting an argument to differ that. A self-destruct from Dusk waiting in the wings as a sound barrier from Delilah. Off of that Echo, Lucio is going to put so much health into Anteiku's pocket. No evil with no choice but to back out or die on point.
Yeah, they use that duplicate well. Actually, don't go for the Somber duplicate like I expected. They go for the Lucio for a little bit extra sustain. Now going into this next fight, so that's side territory for No Evil. They're in this situation where all they need to do is win one more fight. And look at their ultimates right now. They've got the EMP online as well as the Sound Barrier. 2 fight-winning ultimates online. And Anteiku have to do something to deal with these ultimates, otherwise they're going to lose Garden.
Oh, and you can see Bun positioning there in the backline. They get the sound barrier off. There goes the hack. It only finds 2, but 2 crucial targets indeed. But Bun gets melted down. Biz able to save the day there. Dusk self-destruct as well, getting into the backline and taking out Basilisk. This is big territory for Anteiku as No Evil thought to dismantle them with that EMP sound barrier combination and was not able to deliver.
They use the Sound Barrier early on to get into the fight. Nice stick!
Oh, no!
On Bun! Late stagger! That's crucial. However, Zara wants this Tracer Joshi. It will be able to back out, but a beautiful play last fight from Calming. Uses the minefield to stop the follow-up coming in from No Evil. They use the Sound Barrier and EMP to quickly get onto the opposition, but they can't because the minefield's there. They have to try and path across the minefield and they can't do it.
Well, they still got a full spawn, they still got a self-destruct, and the Coalescence is going to be coming online pretty soon for No Evil. Swift going to be dishing that out immediately as Client takes Delilah out of the skies. And D-Mex Dusk with the help of Swift. That's going to be a big play right now for No Evil as they put 2 members at a disadvantage for Anteiku. There is still a mighty helpful on point there. However, as Bun takes Pascal out, No Evil has a much clearer path to victory. They've got presence on point and bodies in the fight.
Yeah, minefield comes out, so there's a win condition online for Anteiku. If they can get people into that minefield, they have a chance.
A couple of members falling very soon. Kami is able to get a consolation on to switch 16 as the pulse bomb comes out, but still it's up to Biz at 18 health to keep things alive. Dust now back in the fight for Anteiku, and No Evil now starting to show a little bit of sweat on their brow as Basilisk commits that sound barrier into the fight. Delilah eager to get back into the fray, has the Echo online, gonna go ahead and find the Diva. With that, getting booped away, but almost finding the kill onto Basilisk, able to track down that Lucio with the help of Kami, and now, with 81% up to the self-destruct, no doubt gonna see that on point. The pulse bomb into the backline isn't gonna take the Zenyatta's life. Pascal able to get away with just a shred of health left, as Zero tries to even things out, and Taiku's taking the point back, and from the grave, with respawns in hand, and Taiku will be able to take the first point of Lijiang.
I talked about the X Factor for No Evil being Bun or Client, but the X Factor for Anteiku, every single time I watch them, is Kami. Sometimes on Roadhog, sometimes on Reinhardt, sometimes on any main tank hero, but this time on the Wrecking Ball. Uses that minefield in the critical EMP fight to block off any sort of follow-up, and in that last fight, uses the minefield to stall out time and let the resources for Anteiku come back, and they win the fight beautifully. So Kami putting up a show so far, and I think they're going to go with a similar composition here on Control Center. No Evil, they're going for that Symmetra Junkrat, which has been used quite a lot on this map in the past.
Biz, you see going over to the Symmetra, no doubt just to help them get out of the gate just a little bit quicker. We'll be switching over to the Tracer. After that's used, able to get the Hammond onto the point, get some scouting out, some positioning. The Reinhardt gracing the field here with Ultra. A bit of a pick battle here on the high ground. You see part of Anteiku's composition kind of departing off to the left. They've noticed that they're not playing up against what they thought they were going to play up against, so they backed out. Maybe a couple of switches going to be coming in, just a soft engage possibly, but No Evil with a very firm hold and first take on the point as long as they can deal with this Hammond.
Yeah, Kami trying to stop that first capture does pretty well, and it looks like Anteiku are getting the numbers back in this one.
Oh! And Dust's going to be opening things up onto Client, taking one of the main tanks out for No Evil while keeping their own health pool quite high and mighty. And with that Winston gone, Ultra not able to keep the space that No Evil has taken.
So 16 done as well, so they're going to back off now, and they're going to back off fast because the killing resources are gone. And if their stagger kills come in for Anteiku, then they're in trouble. They do manage to get a nice flip at the point at the start, however, now you're kind of walking into an objective that's being controlled, and that's a lot more difficult. And this double main tank composition for Noevo is interesting because they've got more engagement tools, but it's how they use those engagement tools is the worry for me, and I'm not so sure you can use those engagement tools really well with this Reinhardt Winston composition on this map.
Speaking of engagements at the Tracer, you must be careful. With a very long reach, Moira can lock onto you and take you out of the fight, but a sound barrier from both sides, and a Transcendence from Anteiku are going to keep both teams in the fight for a little bit longer as Zera takes Delilah out of that Echo, not going to be able to utilize that ultimate, but the Riptire coming out in tandem, looking for a couple of members on the side of this Symmetra shield. Is going to have to take a bit of a longer path. Doesn't look like they're finding what they want, but they will be able to take Delilah back out of the fight. Rally online now for Anteiku, as they've lost a couple of members, but taken the point back. No Evil still not able to really assert their dominance here. You do see Client using that Primal Rage to take out Dusk and initiate this next attack.
You see when Calming goes on, there's no engagement tools online for Anteiku. The advantage of No Evil winning double main tank, if they lose one, they still have another to go in with.
Oh, but not when you get stuck with a pulse bomb. Biz gonna take that main tank out of the fight completely and get a bit of a support line take as well. And take you 77%, already one map won, on the verge of putting Li Jiang in the rear view mirror.
Yeah, they're gonna throw in Pascal's Transcendence into this next side. That's the critical engagement tool for Anteiku. The problem is they need to build it up before Swift 16 builds up that Coalescence, and that Moira is almost there. That means if they can build Pascal's Transcendence before the damage is done, then they have a chance in this fight, but otherwise it's gonna be a fight lost for them.
Oh, Coalescence online and in use. Aren't going to be able to do much with it, however, because Pascal's Transcendence, like you predicted, is there and ready. Delilah takes Client out of the mech and out of the game. With the minefields online from Cammy, nobody can really grant good access to the point, and a self-destruct in the back will take Zero out, and the kills are just cascading in for Anteiku as they put Li Jiang Tower in the bag here.
Yeah, cheeky Delilah EMP with the super kit just to try and finish it off. No one's going to touch the point, and Anteiku take Li Jiang Tower.
Woo! That was a mind-blowing map right there. I mean, Li Jiang Tower, I thought for sure that No Evil was going to be able to secure that map, and you saw Anteiku with that continued sustain, able to just whittle them down and take the point, and then such a controlling showing on control point.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, No Evil, they kind of maybe threw that fight away where they had the EMP, they had the sound barrier, maybe they used the sound barrier and committed to the fight too early, so Calming knew exactly where to set those minefields. Yes, I'm crediting the play from Calming because it's a terrific defensive play. However, the problem is No Evil showed their cards too early, and that's what enabled that play to happen. So No Evil played their win condition wrong on that fight, and I don't really think they ever got going on Control Center. I really don't think that double main tank competition is ever going to work on that map. Maybe on a map like Numbani, where you need a bunch of engagement tools. We saw a couple times in Contenders trials in the past, especially on Numbani, where if you lose a main tank, it's a little bit of a stalemate for a very long time because you can't engage without your main tank. So having a second one actually could help maybe on that map, but on Control Center, not really. Stability is so important on that map, and with double main tank, you don't really get that.
Well, we'll see what they're going to be able to bring to the table for our next map coming up. And, you know, as we move on into Rialto, that's where we started to see a little bit more of the Hammond play come into factor. And No Evil in that last engagement didn't look necessarily reluctant to play the Hammond, but they definitely opted to try and make other things work before they went to the compositions that we've kind of traditionally been seeing.
Yeah, No Evil as a team likes that, though, and I really don't mind that from a team like No Evil because they have such a strong identity with these summer competitions. They're so good at them in particular. So when they're not running them, I kind of am obliged to say, why aren't you running your identity? You're so good at it. And we saw in the finals, top 6 of Trial Champions, as I said earlier in the broadcast, where they were playing against R0 and they tried all these different codes and nothing really worked out. So when they go back to their identity, they definitely look at their strongest. But at this point, Anteiku's in the lead. They've got to be playing a little bit better, or they got to try and change something up. Otherwise, Anteiku are going to, take this series.
Any predictions on Anteiku's composition coming into Rialto?
I mean, Anteiku, I actually think I've never really given them enough credit in the past. I've already kind of looked at Anteiku, and I've always thought they're a pretty good tier 30 team. They've got really strong high moments, pretty flexible with no strong identity. I was completely wrong when I've said that in the past, and I feel actually that Anteiku are quite a strong team. I've actually predicted them to make it through this group, and they are quite flexible, so they can run a lot of different stuff. I expect to see more of what we saw on Lijiang Tor. I think a lot of those Wrecking Ball comps, commies look pretty strong on that hero. Maybe some Diva variants instead of the Sigma variants that we saw the side of Uprising Academy run. So maybe something a little bit different to what we saw in the past series. But Anteiku are a flexible roster. They'll have some plans, and I think Pascal is going to be a great tool in the Zenyatta for this series.
Very excited to see what Bun brings into this next engagement. We saw them on the Sombra with, I think it was a 5-man EMP there at the very end of the map. And just extremely patient with actually executing that. You saw them in that invisible state, just kind of scouting out the team for a good 10-15 seconds while their teammates kind of poked and prodded and just kind of positioned the enemy team into the perfect space to pop that EMP.
I mean, that's what we're expecting from Bun. Bun and Client are the two X factors on the side of No Evil. We've seen Ultra be the X factor in the past in different sort of meta games, and definitely the early part of this Dive Brawl hybrid, we've been looking at a lot of Ultra, but no, I'm kind of looking at Bun, I'm looking at Client. Those are the X factor. Bun is incredibly good at Sombra, understands the hero tremendously, understands how to set up those plays. The problem is, if they can't make those plays because of the defensive utility plays coming out of the opposition, what do they do next? Because No Evil, one thing that they do have, and it's known as a weakness for them, they're not very flexible.
I will say, a lot of eyes, from me at least, are on Biz right now, who seem to be the DPS powerhouse for Anteiku that just really there was no answer for from No Evil.
Yeah, Biz is a good player. I really do think that. I think they're really, really flexible. As I said, Anteiku is a very, very flexible roster. They can play a lot of different heroes. As I said, I've seen Kami on every single main tank plus Roadhog and be pretty strong at all of them. So I do like Biz, very flexible player. I just don't think they really excel at anyone here.
Well, both teams are going to be coming out with the tank line that you are used to seeing, the Sigma Hammond. Support lines as well, almost identical, but Vega going to go ahead and go over to that Mercy, and then a pick that I expected but haven't seen yet, the Ashe from Delilah, going to be very helpful in that courtyard.
I like this change. The Ashe Mercy can be poking a lot from a distance. You can take a better duels with Zera, and I think this is a good change from Anteiku.
You saw Kami getting a little bit excited there, wanted to go for the big ground foul, but wasn't able to take it. Knew that if he went for that, he was probably going to get a crowd controlled and possibly even melted down in that situation had the Discord on him. Client getting mighty low on the high ground, forcing Ultra to go ahead and use that seismic slam to get back up on top, and Delilah now at 40% on the Ashe to the Bob. Gonna get a little bit more control of the high ground as Anteiku slowly postures themselves and pushes this payload forward. No Evil is gonna get kind of cornered into this lower area down on the side. Gonna force Ultra to get a little bit aggressive on the Hammond, and that's going to pay. Delilah will be able to open up that kill, and now in a 6v5, Anteiku thought they had a little bit of confidence, but they're gonna lose one, and both Zenyatas, they're gonna take each other out. How often do you see that? And on the back of it though, Anteiku with the kills that they need, but wow, Pascal and Swift taking each other out in that engagement at the same time.
Yeah, Biz and Bun taking up a duel up. Duel is going to be extremely important to who wins the next fight. Bun trying to back out and needs to get back to their team. Otherwise, they're going to go down. It's going to be very, very difficult to get a touch in the last fight here.
Big save from Ultra right there to support their Tracer, to get Bun to stay alive. Transcendence as well to help. The Bob is on point, but with that Transcendence, not going to get a lot of utility. But Biz says, yo, Swift, you're out of here. Your Transcendence is gone, and so is your team. Anteiku going to grab that first point, and Bun still in the fight, but the pulse bomb just it went out, but it didn't find what it needed.
What I really, really like from Biz there, sticks the pulse bomb onto the Zenyatta at the correct time. As soon as that Transcendence wore off, I mean, so really couldn't do anything about that. That was just an extremely good play from Biz. One problem for Anteiku though is they only have the Transcendence for the next fight, but if you could pick any ultimate in the game to have, it'd be either EMP or Transcendence. So Pascal's doing a great job with that ultimate.
Ult tracking, however, for No Evil, they've got to know that Pascal's got that ultimate, and does it really matter right now? No Evil, there's no way you can push in. You just lost your main tank, you just lost your Zenyatta. You've got to look out for Biz in the backline.
Yeah, they have to set up properly for this next thing. Make sure that their backline is safe, specifically because you have that Sigma just for that job, and you've got ultimates to win this next fight. This is a must-win fight for No Evil.
Coming into the Isle of Death, as some people like to coin it, Swift is able to find the first kill onto Pascal, but loses his life to Biz in the backline as he builds up another pulse bomb. Delilah does have Bob online and is going to commit it to the payload just in case they decide to move out. Bob will have the presence to move that payload. Doesn't look like it's going to work out, however, Client getting Vega out, and Kami and Dust both very low on health as Biz gets taken out of the party. And Anteiku won't be able to have the presence that they want, and No Evil still has the ult economy that they need.
Yeah, Pascal still has that Transcendence for the next fight. They'll actually probably have both of their support ultimates for the next fight. What I like about having both support ultimates, as long as you don't use them at the same time, you can still use them in the same fight at different moments to get aggressive at different parts of the fight. But you can't do it when Vega's down.
No, Ultra is going to pretty much sacrifice themselves to put that minefield out, but it will grab Vega, one of the most important people on Anteiku's push at that moment. So, pretty minimal expense from No Evil, and a great takeaway.
Yeah, in this next fight, they have to use their support ultimates well, but they'll also have both of their tank ultimates. They'll probably have all 6 ultimates in this next fight. So No Evil versus Anteiku. Who can use their ultimates better? Who can get the best out of their ultimates and utilize their resources well? That's the question here.
A big dynamite into the backline is going to allow Delilah to build up, looks like 14% off of that single utility. But Dust getting kind of bullied off of the high ground. And Anteiku, although they have the ultimates in the bank, it doesn't seem like they've chosen the exact place that they want to execute.
Oh, no!
And oh, Biz got taken out by his own pulse bomb.
I wonder if he was just going for aggressive Hail Mary flying, but it just didn't quite work on.
Wow. Vega will be there to bring Biz back into the fight, so no trip back from spawn, but Mine's onto the stairs is going to cause problems for No Evil as they lose Client in the process. But thankfully, Swift is there with the Transcendence to keep them alive during that Gravitic Flux, but who cares, because Pascal is there on the DPS Zenyatta to find himself a couple of kills. And a beautiful job right now coming in from Anteiku as the DPS line, including the Zenyatta, are going to go ahead and mow through No Evil and push this to the second point.
We interviewed Pizza Demon earlier and said, your Zenyatta at points is your DPS, has to play super aggressive, and Pascal is doing that. 2 kills in the last fight for the Zenyatta, also using that Transcendence to keep themselves and another member of their team in Delilah alive. Incredible play from Pascal in that last fight. And Anteiku looking extremely good, however they need to build up ultimates because otherwise Evil, now switching back to the composition they're more comfortable, might be able to save them.
With Bun onto this Sombra, the game changes right now for No Evil. Able to use that hack to pretty much completely carterize Cammy on this Orisa and take them out of the fight, but they got to keep themselves in the fight in the process. Ultra getting taken out by Pascal. Gravitic Flex will go down, getting Dust quite low, but the health is still there, so you won't see any eliminations coming through as No Evil continues to switch up their composition in an attempt to kind of deal with this aggressive push from Anteiku. You see Ultra onto the Reinhardt coming back into the fight, Bun on the sideline, not able to sustain on the Sombra.
Oh, good fight win for Anteiku. But the problem is now for No Evil, it's going to get worse because they haven't been able to build close to EMP. Bun's still on 42%, so the Sombra that they're so good at playing around isn't going to have that critical ultimate, and now it's going to get really tough for them in this next fight after Anteiku regroup and go in.
Luckily, after the loss of Ultra pretty early in that engagement, they're going to have the help of Zebra and Bun to kind of deter Anteiku for just long enough to get that main take back in the fight, and a big pick comes through from Bun, able to take Biz completely out of the equation in one of these last engagements, puts them to 75% to the EMP.
Bun was just waiting on the flag, waiting for Biz. As soon as they see Biz on the flag, they hack them and get the kill instantaneously, and that's a really good heads-up play for Bun. Not only securing a critical kill, but getting closer to that EMP, and now we're looking at the EMP versus Transcendence matchup. Bun versus Pascal, who can clutch it up on this last fight?
Oh, yikes, I think he saw him. Definitely did. Biz able to find Bun out there at the very beginning, so you won't be seeing any hacks. Tracers be going down, but Zera's there waiting in the corner with a pulse bomb. Has to retreat. Got a little bit too hot. Not going to be dealing with the heat. Dusk has the Gravitic Flux for Anteiku as they look to engage into this final fight. 10 seconds on the clock. Vega's going to pop the Valkyrie to get things started. There goes the Gravitic Flux around the corner. Sound Barrier lands just in time, and that's going to open it up for No Evil to push back on the defense. Bun has the EMP, finds four. Oh, he gets them all. The Pulse Bomb, not going to work at all. The Supercharger taken out by Ultra, and No Evil putting themselves in grand position to stop Anteiku from taking the third point. But Anteiku's not going to give up easily. Kami is going to take the first kill, and a big pull from Delilah takes 3 out of the fight if you include the mech. There goes the Moira as well. And Anteiku with a mighty fine stabilization there at the very end of Rialto.
You're right in saying Bun got a huge EMP, but the problem was they didn't get the Zenyatta. I highlighted it just before going into the fight. It's going to be Bun versus Pascal. Pascal comes out on top yet again. That's 2 objectives captured by their Zenyatta player. Their flex support on their own has got 2 objectives for Anteiku just by putting out clutch plays when they need it. What a transcendence. What a play to avoid the EMP. Anteiku have got to be thanking their Zenyatta player right now. Pascal, well played, my friend.
You know, often you see these big support plays come out from Zenyatas, and it's rare that you really get to see it happen in such a systematic fashion as what we're seeing with Pascal. I mean, the ult tracking is there, the positioning is there. He knows I can take this long sight line, I can dish out damage and maybe get a couple of picks. You know, the transcendences are perfectly timed. Just a treat, if you will, to see support play at this level.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And one thing I also want to give Anteiku credit while we're watching them set up on their defense is they have shown tremendous flexibility. I've talked about how flexible they are in this sort of build up to the match, and they're running this Mercy Ashe combination that we haven't really seen too much. When we were seeing this Mercy Zen dive composition with the Wrecking Ball, we usually see Tracer and Echo. We've also seen them play Sombra and Echo with the Brigitte Zen composition, so different DPS lines with instead of the traditional DPS lines for these compositions. And I actually like what they're running a little bit better compared to what other people think is the meta, so I really do like these adaptations from Anteiku.
Now, I know it's a bit of a gimmick, and I always make jokes about the nano-boosted Hammond, but we're seeing it on a Hammond in the same composition, so let me hope. But, of course, Zera on the Genji is going to, no doubt, be the target of those nano-boosts as often as possible. Interested to see how Zera decides to take this target selection on the Genji, a pick that we don't traditionally see at the time.
I like this from No Evil. They're kind of struggling to find win conditions in fights, so just going for the simple Nano Blade is a good option.
With Cammy working his way in on the Hammond, is able to put up to 37% with a big ground and pound, pushes that to 50, but gets crowd controlled and discorded. Gonna have to back out of the fight, look for a Mega. He is able to help it, but you see the rest of Anteiku kind of dancing around the high ground with the help of Viz and putting a lot of distance between themselves and No Evil as they push into this courtyard, utilizing that long-range hit scan in Delilah.
I like this Mercy Ashe, and they're going to continue to use it well. It just doesn't even look like No Evil can get close to Anteiku, and that's where their composition thrives. They want to get up close and personal. They want to build up that Genji bid, but look, they're only on 60%, and Swift already has that nano boost.
Really have a target to throw it onto, though. Zera only 60% to that Genji blade. No Evil have a couple ingredients to the cake, but they need to stop by the store on the way home and make sure they pick up some flour and butter. You see Biz in the high ground. Gonna go ahead and deter Bun from getting any sort of progress into the house area as Delilah takes Zera out of the fight. 68% of the Dragon Blade's all you're gonna get for now, and that's gonna open it up for Biz. No real adaptive DPS in the backline right now. The Pulse Bomb still in wait as Anteiku continues to pull in picks.
Bun sticking on the Tracer and Zera on the Genji. They have to get something to pressure Delilah, because Delilah's just sitting at the back of the map shooting shots on this Ashe. Mercy pocket in hand. Vega's doing a great job supplying the resources, but realistically, Delilah doesn't really have to be great at aiming to do anything. No pressure applied on this Ashe. Can just sit at the back of the map and hit shots. That's exactly what Delilah's doing right now, and No Evil not really doing anything to stop it.
He's Swift with that Nano Blade. or that Nano, I'm sorry, waiting for the blade. The rally does get pulled. Minefield onto the point to make sure they can't get through that short corridor. Sleep onto the Bob. He's immediately woken back up and takes Zero gets him out of the fight with that reflect. Beautiful job from the Genji. Now the Dragon Blade online, and this is what No Evil's been waiting for. They're able to put it out onto Zero. He's looking for the kills, but there's a Transcendence just waiting in the wings for that Genji, so he's not able to find really any utility out of it. Now stuck into the back line, no dash to be seen, is going to be taken out by Delilah. Bun in the back line as well. And No Evil, their whole plan crumbling before their eyes. They still have a couple of ultimates online and momentum with the payload, but they weren't able to put the pieces of the puzzle together.
I think Clive's going to get staggered out here as well on the Diva. They're just going to let that kill bide its time. And Pascal, again, is the player to shout out for Anteiku. They know that Nano Blade is coming in. Pascal kind of leaves himself in the open as a bit. Knows that they're going to try and get that Zenyatta first. But the per ultimate tracking from No Evil and the per decision making going after Pascal first, Transcendence comes out. And that Ash Mercy just gets away. And realistically, they were the ones in a position. They should have been the targets for that Nano Blade. And No Evil's win condition goes down the drain again.
Well, just a Valkyrie online for supports on both sides. Bun able to tip the scales a little bit. There is a res from Vega, so no doubt going to be seeing Biz coming back into the fight pretty soon. Biz going to come back from spawn, actually going to save the res for Vega. Last fight territory. They want that online as they come into this engagement. Zira is able to find the opening kill onto Cammy, which is quite big. Bob offline pretty quickly with the help of Swift. Now No Evil with a good bit of comfort is going to be able to survive the Gravitic Flex and only lose Zero to it. But a big pulse bomb from Biz. Oh, it's big. Anteiku going to be pushing things back in their favor last minute.
Wow. What a map of Rialto for Anteiku. Not only have they been winning the DPS war with Biz, but Pascal's been making these plays that I look back at the fight and I just can't believe it. I really cannot believe that Pascal is making these consistent fight-winning plays. That's, what, 3 of them at least in that last map? Insane from the flex support of Anteiku.
I'm personally taken aback by Biz. I'd like to see Tap and Biz go at it. I think that would be a great Tracer matchup. But that pulse bomb at the end, No Evil was slowly and steadily gaining on Anteiku, giving themselves position and kind of confidence and dominance. And that pulse bomb goes off and that entire push just crumbled.
Yeah, No Evil, I want them to get back into this series and at least show us what they can do. Because No Evil, every single time I talk about it, they always have a solid identity. You know, they have some great individual players. I want them to be able to show their talent on the Contenders trial stage. Let's hope they can do it.
Well, we're not done with these two teams. We are going to go to a short break to allow them to go back to the locker room, have their pep talks, and we'll be right back after that.
So you queue up for Overwatch Ranked, only to be greeted by this, which then leads to this, and oh no, Reinhardt, what are you doing? The solution? Elo Hell pickup games.
Hey, you know what? Just oh my god, it's huge! Oh! Kill! Let's go!
Open to players of all ranks and most platforms, Pugs give you the chance to experience competitive Overwatch as it was meant to be played. Competitively.
I need help.
I'm with you.
Shoot. No way, dude. Go. Let's go. Nice. Good call.
Players set their icons to indicate the role they want to play, then 2 captains pick their teammates and draft the most competitive teams they can. You can also take part in our pioneering learning event, Coached Pugs. To take part, join the Elo Hell Pickup Games Discord, and be sure to read the Pug Guide and FAQ. Good luck, have fun, and we'll see you in-game.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. A short halftime, if you will, because these teams, they don't want to rest. They want to keep on trucking and keep on fighting it out here. No Evil now on the brink of losing today's Contenders Trials match, and Anteiku on the brink, of course, of going 2-0.
Yeah, if you go 2-0, you're in the first 2 days. One, you kind of have a little bit of margin for error later on, and that can make you have a really nice mental advantage in your later games. Of course, like a 3-2 record with a high differential, which if Anteiku in this next map, they will have another game with high differential. They won 3-1 in their opening matchup. They won 3-0 here today. Then they'll be in a really good spot to qualify for Contenders proper. That will be exciting for them. But as I said, for No Evil, just before we went into the break, they've got a lot. And I mean an absolute lot of talent on their team. It would be an absolute shame in their first Contenders Trials broadcast if they didn't get to show it. You know, I said this when we were casting, I was casting them against R0 in the top 6 of Trial Champions, and they were trying these different identities, and it wasn't working out. Oh, how sad I was to see them kind of struggle, because this team I've been following them in Open Division and Trial Champions, and they have a lot of potential, and it's a shame when they aren't able to utilize it.
Well, they've still got a chance, and we are going to be going over to Hanamura, one of the maps where it really is important for you and your team to be on the same page. It's not like the control maps where you can do a little bit more as a DPS and just get a pick here and there. Getting your team onto the point, getting your presence onto the point is absolutely crucial on Hanamura.
I mean, I think that also favors Anteiku right now. You know, you're getting a map where you have to have a lot of momentum, especially after you capture point A. You want to get straight on to point B and at least get some progress. We actually saw neither of the teams earlier, Square 1 or Uprising, can we be able to do that themselves? They
tried.
They tried.
Took a little bit of a dip, but they tried.
I'm not sure if there was any water there, so if we can call it a dip, but they fell, and it hurts.
They had a fall, yeah.
Yeah, we'll call it a fall. But I feel like there's going to be a lot of momentum in this series, and No Evil, they just don't seem to have any of it right now, and I think that really does actually favor Anteiku right now.
Well, looking at this defense out the gate, we're seeing the double shield and a Baptiste.
Intriguing. This is something I expect once we kind of move on to the current live patch. I expect this Baptiste break double shield method to sort of be back with a little more poke-based heroes. So this is something I expect No Evil being screwing with on the live patch recently, and are now comfortable with, and this is something they're going to go with to try and get themselves back into the series.
What are your premonitions here without the buffs? Does it still work?
I mean, it can work, it's just really difficult to pull off. Your backline is a lot weaker because you don't have the extra damage for the Baptiste, and the Verdita obviously only has 200 health with armor included, so I really don't think it's as good, but it definitely still could work.
Well, see Anteiku doing a little bit of scouting, picking. What do we want to pocket? Do we want Delilah on the Ashe, or do we want to put Delilah onto the Echo? Looks like the decision is going to be the white and blue Echo. Biz now going into the backline, going to be hacking this Mega on the high ground, which is going to be big as the dive comes out from Anteiku. Already a bit of presence on point. Looks like first tick. Gonna go over to Anteiku without much of a fight from No Evil as they take a bit of time rotating. Kami able to get out of the fight just in time, hiding until the rest of the team can kind of get in and start that poke battle. But the ult economy right now for Anteiku looking really good.
Yeah, Delilah's poking very well on Biz. Don't think I didn't catch that. You almost fall off the map, but good thing you had your chance of sitting on that high ground.
Gonna be going back up to the high ground there. Dust backing out, but gonna be engaging again soon. They have Delilah taking Klein out, and that's gonna put the Echo online here in just a couple of seconds. Swift on the Baptiste. Keeping as many people alive as possible, has the window of opportunity, but is going to be taken out in the process. So it's now time for Anteiku to finish out and start the snowball.
I really like that duplicate building from Delilah, just poking, building that duplicate, playing a patient style against the double shield, just slowly building ultimates. You're not going to go in, take the poke battle against double shield and win. They're poking, getting the correct damage, using the ultimates well, and I really like the break sustain pick. I've always liked the Vegeta duplicate, it provides so much sustainability, and I think that's extremely important. So I really like that decision from Anteiku, so we'll see if they're able to do that throughout the rest of the Connemara attack.
Well, we are going to have a very quick pause, and honestly, this is probably the best position of a map to actually have a pause. And Anteiku not necessarily aggressively going for that snowball take onto the second point. No Evil currently in the process of posturing. It looks like there was probably a slight issue within the lobby, but Anteiku very, very adept. They took this slowly. You know, it took them about 30 seconds to get those swaps down and actually initiate their attack.
I'm actually really excited about that because that means that not only are they flexible in what heroes they play, but what playstyles they run, and now they're building up to that EMP. That's their next big win condition, and they still do Transcendence on that as well.
Yeah, that Transcendence. They got the Gravitic Flux. They've got a lot. If you want to get splitting hairs, they're going to be very well equipped for the next engagement as Blizz gets on and has the EMP, going to translocate out. Dust gets the kill onto the back line, and with 2 down, Anteiku with a mighty fine position on this point, taking out the supports. There's still that window from Swift, but there's going to be no Swift to contest. There's nothing they can do.
That fight for me, for No Evil, will be extremely concerning for me because they didn't even need to use their major win condition, or their Transcendence didn't really get much value either. Just really Dust walking up the stairs and pressing the Gravitic Flux button was enough. And realistically, No Evil, you had the Dragon Strike, you had the Bob, you had the Rally, you even had the Amplification Matrix, which you weren't able to use. You had so many ultimates online. That one singular ultimate or player should not be dismantling you, especially when you have a little bit of a pause to reset and get your mind set up for the next fight. You had so much time to prepare for that. They didn't even need to use that EMP or Transcendence to win that. That's concerning for No Evil, but what a time bank for Anteiku.
And Hanamura, a map notorious for going into the 3rd and 4th points. Capturing with 4 minutes 25 seconds pretty much ensures that you not only are setting a mental obstacle up for your opponent and saying, look at how quickly we can do this, but in the case that they are able to capture both points, you have such a cushion of time to use to come into that next round.
What I think Anteiku should be looking at here, and what I think a lot of teams should be looking at in general, and this is the thing I always feel in my brain, especially when I'm coaching, to play for your win condition. Anteiku can just big fights as long as possible, and eventually they can just take down No Evil to overtime on point B, and that means realistically you take them overtime on point B, you only need a tick in 4 minutes 25 seconds. That's basically done, especially for the competition you're playing. I feel like playing to the sort of the game mode design's weaknesses is definitely a good way to play. That's what I tell my teams to play, but I think all these Overwatch players, they want to win, and they want to win their way.
Oh, Ultra getting a little tricky into the back line. Acting as if they were the limp shield of the fleet, and when they get closed in on Bun, they're on the Tracer to clean up the attack. Oh, Biz thought they had that in the bag. Stabilizing now onto the high ground, and Anteiku very confident in their positioning as you see No Evil rotating across the high ground. So they'll be coming into the point from the back, Delilah onto the high ground, just to scout out and make sure that nobody from No Evil can get free point percentage. Not wanting to give up a tick at all. They are going to take Zero out of the fight as well. No Evil not able to get their team on. They have a Harmony Orb onto their Sigma, but it's just not going to be enough to keep them in the fight. And Anteiku, from every single angle, seems to have the answer.
Yeah, Zara going down, it's out of position, themselves alive. I'm not too sure how they got in the position or why they were there, but it's definitely not working out for their team right now.
You see Pascal in the kill feed once again, pointing, in my opinion, probably the most aggressive Zenyatta we've seen in Contenders trials to date. And Anteiku farming up that EMP as we transition to the second point, or to the first point again. And Biz just really working out the scouting angle, but No Evil just hasn't been able to put these pieces together.
What I really like from Basilisk there is they're showing some nice Perdita skill. They're trying to scout with the flail. You have infinite amounts of being able to swing that flail around, and that means that Sombra can't get close to you and get a cheeky hack off. That's really good play from Basilisk. Good scouting and nice use of the Perdita flail.
And a lot of ultimates coming online for this next fight. With only 1 minute and 47 seconds, No Evil is now, no doubt, starting to feel a bit of that pressure. Gravitic Flux from Dust to deter the point push, but it's going to be a Transcendence from Swift to keep No Evil in the fight for a little bit longer, as Bun is able to find that ultimate Pulse Bomb, and Pascal evening things out, but not without letting his tank fall as well. But it's okay, No Evil here and strong. Basilisk on this Brig with this rally will be able to push things over the edge. No Evil will take the point, not with as much time as Anteiku, but they have a couple of ultimates for their next engagement.
Look at this though already, Anteiku already have beaten No Evil's time by. But let's give No Evil some credit. Because Basilisk, nice scouting on the Brig, nice spy checking at the start of the fight, then a really nicely timed rally, and they engage with it well. So No Evil, they're working their way back into this series, but I think they've already really run out of time, and now Anteiku are in a situation where they can just buy down the clock and already be in a good position to take on and take the series. Oh no! Not again! What's up with players holding up the map today?
I mean, I'm not sure. There must be some sort of bug going around, but Bun gonna send himself back to the spawn, but No Evil not going to allow that to truly deter them. They're going to continue this poke battle and continue building up their ultimates. Zira now, spotlight on the soldier, has the tack visor available.
If they can get Zara on the high ground, they're in a great spot, because having that soldier 76 with the tactical visor on the high ground is going to be incredibly potent for the defense to deal with.
Well, the tack visor is up, and corners are Anteigu's best friend. They're able to hide away from that ultimate, but Ultra out on the back of the porch, looking to find this kill onto the Mercy, is going to get caught out there, it looked like, and found Delilah, but not Vega. So Anteiku going to be the great takeaway from that last engagement. Zira going out to that back porch to take Vega out of the fight for real. And it doesn't look like they're going to be able to mount an attack quick enough.
I think Vega landed at No Evil's spawn, and that's why Zara was able to claim that kill. Because I was wondering how Vega survived, but that would also explain why Zara was able to claim the kill. I think that's where Vega landed, and that's where they had to die, unfortunately.
Well, they've got a taste for blood, and No Evil doesn't intend to waste their opportunity. Bun in the back, waiting for the Hammond and looking for Biz, knowing that the Pulse Bomb is for sure online, and they're all stuck in a small hallway. Biz just outside, waiting for the call from his teammates to come in with the big bang. Able to throw that in. Doesn't look like it's going to take any kills, but a Gravitic Flux coming out from Dusk is going to help take Zira out of the fight. Client still holding their own Gravitic Flux as the Hammond battle ensues, just off point with the Tracer to help. They are looking to hunt down Ultra, and No Evil just has not found any comfortable entrance into the zone for Anteiku.
Again, I keep on bringing the timer up because they could just stall No Evil down the overtime, especially with the ultimates they have online. They could use the ball to make the fight longer, and they could just use their support ultimates at different times to make it difficult for No Evil to aggress. That being said, No Evil has ultimates at their
and they are going to use that rally to get themselves a little bit of presence on point. But Bob's there as well, so no member of Anteiku has to actually focus on contesting the point at the moment. Sigma Shield there to protect him. Transcendence from both sides. but it's going to be up to No Evil to decimate Anteiku, but the story's being written by a different author. Kami finds 2 with that minefield, and the rest come trickling in as Anteiku puts No Evil into the 1-minute margin.
I feel like we haven't seen enough of Bun today. And why I say that is because Delilah has had free reign this entire series on that Ashe. And when Bun is a designated hitscan player, of course, playing the Tracer by 9-0, playing the Soldier 76, Bun's usually the player. Not playing Soldier 76 anymore, but when Bun's a designated hitscan player, usually that's the player we see go on to heroes like Widowmaker. Delilah can't have this free reign. It's just destroying No Evil right now.
And we talked a little bit of last match about the Roadhog that came into play and about respecting that too much and allowing that Roadhog to play the game he wanted to play. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now with Delilah on the Ashe. We're just not seeing the respect from No Evil that this Ashe deserves.
How did Basilisk get in that position? Why is that kill able to happen? This should not be happening at the Contenders level. I have said that this team is so talented, but at points we just aren't able to see it from No Evil.
Last fight's going to ensue in a very, very low health client, going to be lifted up into the air and dropped back into spawn. The kill's still continuing to come in for Anteiku. You do see Biz getting taken out by a couple of mines, but it seems to be just a small consolation for No Evil as Anteiku continues to put themselves into the kill feed.
Yeah, this map is as good as done, and so is this series. Anteiku take Hanamura, and I'll take the series 3-0.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. No Evil not able to really step up to the plate here against Anteiku. And if I have to say so myself, Anteiku just seemed prepared for every situation.
Yeah, they were the most flexible team today. They played a load of different compositions. They played a lot of different compositions well. They used their win conditions well. And I'm very, very impressed by this Anteiku roster as of late. I was wrong when I was talking to a couple of the casters over division. I really didn't think they were that great, to be honest. And a lot of the casters were telling me I was wrong. I'm going to put my hands up now and say I was wrong with this Anteiku roster. I accepted it earlier when I said Anteiku would qualify from this group. I'll accept it again now. But before we move on and talk about Anteiku more and how well they played, I have to say, No Evil, I expect so much more than that. I think they're an extremely talented roster with extremely strong identity. And I just wish they could show us it more often because they're so talented and that talent deserves to be shown on stream.
Yeah, No Evil, they've still got 3 more games in the coming days to make their presence known. Going to have to be taking a look at the VOD here against Anteiku. But we are going to be snagging a member from Anteiku to bring them in for a slight interview. So please, guys, don't go anywhere as we wrap things up. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to my favorite part of every evening, and that's when we get to interview a couple of the players. I'm Status24, and joining me here is Ocean, and on the mic, we've got Bubbles, aka Cammy, as well as Cal here for our interview. I wanted to ask you guys, and this is going to be a little bit more directed toward Cammy, how does it feel to finally be able to play Hammond?
You know, just doing ball things, rolling around, booping peds. It's one of my specialties, you know?
Yeah.
I really like to avoid the Rhine comps because they're just, they're boring. Going around booping people is a lot more fun. That's why I really like playing Hammond.
I agree.
So I'll start off with my first question. I'll get Cal a question because you're kind of the sort of secondary choice main support for this roster, and every single time I see people talk about you, it's all positive about how you help the team out. So from your perspective, what was the preparation for this game like? How did you adapt in game? And you guys look awesome today. So what was it like from your perspective?
I'm the starting main support.
Wait, you're
Yeah.
Wait, what? Why
Yeah.
is the sheet wrong? Sorry, right, okay, that's awkward. Right, okay.
Vegas just got a couple. He's just a
Oh.
bit better at Mercy, so he's in for
Oh,
now.
okay. So
Yeah.
you were the starting main support, but didn't play at all today, is what you're telling me.
Pretty much because Vegas is better than me at Mercy, so
Okay,
he's
okay.
gonna be in for the remainder probably, unless
Okay.
they need the secret weapon. I can't speak English. Weapon. Sorry.
I mean, I want to see that secret weapon later on, so hopefully you can unleash yourself and show the world how good you are. I've seen you lose to it's correct. So
Thank you.
Question back for Kami. So first two maps you guys rolled pretty easily. So what was your feeling going into map 3? Two strong maps. Do you think you could? Well, you obviously did close out the series, but what was your feeling? Do you just want to get it done?
Yeah. Going to map 3, we were like, it's still 0-0. You know, mental reset. Make sure everything's good, and we had the momentum going, so it was just in favor for us.
All right, awesome. And going to this environment. So actually, question directed at both of you. You have a 7-player roster, obviously with the two main sports, Vega and Cal. I'm really excited to see Cal play later on because I have seen great Lucio things. But what sort of flexibility does that give, especially when we're heading into a meta when there's so many different main sports to be played? How important is that flexibility of having two main support players and two strong main support players at that?
What was your answer? Or you want me to?
Go ahead. All you.
I don't want to sound like I have a big ear, but I think we definitely have one of the best, or probably like top 3 main sports in trials right now on the same team. So we have we can probably gap most teams on the main sports side, and most teams don't have like the facilities we do to build each other off of each other and like rendezvous with each other. Most teams don't have the like connection that we can learn off of each other from our play, and so that helps us a lot.
Alrighty, so it's kind of a joint question here. Last question for both of you, and we'll have both of you answer. We'll start with Kami after when we finish the question. So, one, how good does it feel to finally, be 2-0, be in contenders trials, be in that strong position? And sort of the back-ended question of that is, do you think you have what it takes to get into contenders proper? Start with Kami.
Okay. So, first time in trials. This is my first season, going through 9-0D seasons, coming out strong. And it's really been a grind, and I love playing with my team, and it's just a fun time. But I really do think we have the potential and to just make contenders and make it into the tier 2 scene more.
Awesome. Super glad to hear that. And Cal, your thoughts?
I think most of our players are pretty much all veterans except for a couple, so it feels very good to be in the spot that we are in. And I think we definitely have a very good chance at breaking into contenders.
Awesome. Great to hear. I'm going to throw you back to Shido.
So much, Bubbles and Cal, for joining us for this interview. Before you guys go, is there any shout outs or anything that you'd like to say to your adorning public?
Make sure to support tier 2 and watch all the streams. That's 100%.
Awesome.
I agree. Support tier 2.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Support tier 2 and make sure that you keep an eye on Anteiku for the rest of the tournament. Thank you guys so much
Oh,
for joining
I have one
us
more
for
shout
the
out. I have one
interview.
more shout out.
What do you got?
Shout out to our coach Careless. He's actually a really, really good coach. Probably one of the best.
And Jay.
Awesome.
Yeah, and Jay. That's for sure.
Gotta,
They
of
help us
course,
a
shout
lot.
out the support staff in these situations. But thank you so much for joining us for the interview. Congratulations on going 2-0 in Contenders trials. You guys can go ahead and head out and pop the champagne.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That being said, folks, that is going to do it for us here. That's it for me. That's it for Ocean. We've got to bid you adieu. We do want to give a huge thank you, of course, to all of the teams that participated in today's trials matches, to you guys out there viewing it, and a huge round of applause and a big thank you to the production team behind us. But that being said, be safe, don't be toxic, and have a great evening.